time to realize.
The starting now.
Oh, okay. We're up. Hello, everybody.
I was singing.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Phew. We're live. We had a bit of technical difficulties there
Hi,
for a
Dean.
sec. But welcome to After Party
Brett.
33, where we're celebrating our 100th session. Woo!
Hype, hype, hype.
Yes, what are we at now? We're at 16 months since we released our first.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
A year and a half,
Holy
basically.
crap.
Bonkers.
I'm not a mathematician, but that's like a year and a half almost.
Almost.
I think our first recordings were in January. We didn't release till April, so I mean we've been doing this over a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm ready to retire. Still of the four of you.
I thought you were about to say it. I'm Leland Steele.
I knew that was coming from someone.
And I'm Leland Steele.
And we did all agree to
Oh,
a
we're
100
out.
episode cap.
We're
right?
done.
I think that's
Yeah.
what we said at the beginning.
So we'd like to announce this live. The show is over.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about sessions 98, whatever the title was, 99, whatever that title was, and 100, whatever that title
I got
was.
it.
Oh,
98,
good.
The Revenant's Revenge. The whole Twitch thing's throwing me here. Okay. And then 99, Intervention, and 100, Get Your Vision Checked.
Your volume's
So-
a little low, hon.
It's a little low. You can't hear me?
My Twitch says the video's done being live. What?
It's good. It's a problem on your end.
Oh
not,
my goodness.
It's
Log
good.
out and
Get
log
out
back
of
in.
here. Yeah.
Close the window.
Get out of
Open it
here.
again.
I want to stare at myself, you know?
I'm nothing if not narcissistic.
Why don't you look at the Zoom window and not
There
the
we go. I
Twitch?
know, I could. I want to look at the chat, I guess. Hey,
So,
Brett.
moving right along.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start out. Hey, that'll get cut. We'll do.
Now it won't. You said it will, so now it won't.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true.
So we start out, and let's talk about 98. We start out 98 with a bellowing scream from Leland.
From Erica, not from me. I didn't do
Well.
it.
Well,
true.
one and the same.
While in
And,
recording, Elena hadn't realized that was the start of the play.
Yeah, I thought you were just being weird or something. I don't know.
That too.
Spilled his coffee. We never have heard him scream like that before. So
True.
Yeah, that was-
Erica was pissed about something, obviously.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what.
I wonder.
So what do you think? Erica walked in the tent. You know, what did she see first?
Her dead alligator, crocodile,
Her
crocagator.
pet,
Do
yeah.
you think that's what she was
Crocodile.
screaming at first? Just the.
Or the
Well, the first
Minotaur
scream was
card.
when you were all
Danzig.
still in the tent.
Oh.
Yeah. It came from outside the tent.
Oh,
That's right.
She
Ooh.
sensed something. Probably something that was
Maybe.
being taken or moved.
Quick,
from her
write
tent.
that down. He's
Right.
telling us.
No, I
Telling us
noticed that when we were
absolutely nothing
playing.
as usual.
And then the second scream was obviously when she looked in the barrel,
Yeah.
I think. So, yeah. So we pissed off Erica, which is
Yeah.
sort of satisfying, I think.
Very
Yeah.
satisfying.
So then we talk about the eye in the jar for a moment. The eye's moving around, looking around. I think we any theories on what the eye actually was? Since
No.
it wasn't Sardo. Sardo was tracking us.
Well, yeah, that totally threw me off because I thought for sure it was the eye, just because of how Leland made a point of commenting that I think was it when Erica's first screamed, then the eye started darting around, and then we decided to take off, and we noticed that the eye was pointing in the direction of Sardo, or
Well,
maybe it was Erica.
We knew right after Drake turned us invisible, Leland let us know. And I'd like to note that we all did a terrible job of remembering that we were invisible and that other things
All of
that
your
are on
shit
you
was
are
invisible.
also invisible.
Other things in our possession. Were
Let's just
not
stop and
visible.
read an invisible book here.
Starting with me, I said, I'm going to take off running as fast as I can. And then a few minutes later, I thought, well, how are they going to know if they're within 30 feet of me with pass without a trace?
Yeah.
So then I said, I'm going to try to stay within 30 feet of everybody, not realizing that I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And we also try to read a book invisible. We try to look at the eye invisible. We do a number of things that we can't do. So
Yep.
good for us for great role play.
Yeah, good on you.
I mean, in Bill's theory about the eye, I went with it, whatever, and now I'm out some cool cleric's eye. Dang it.
Well,
No, you did recover it.
He did? He went back?
Yeah, I think near the
I
end of
remember
100.
saying something sassy.
Yeah,
like,
you kind of
well, if
backtracked.
you have all this
grabbed
time to go get it, go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
you got
also
it,
like
you
to
got it.
note that I just allowed the term butt plugs into our chat, and I'm very proud of that moment.
I saw that, yeah. Permitted term, butt
Good
plugs.
job. Good job.
Can't believe it was ever on the ban list in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Okay, so
Oh,
then we decide to take off and go up into the mountains to try to put some distance between us.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there.
And Erica and Sardo and our good friend Chucky, who can't wait to meet us again.
Oh, yeah.
And I think part of the idea we came up with the eye. We thought the eye might be the reason. I thought the idea of laying it down and creating an ambush potential was a great idea.
Yeah, that was brilliant for
Yeah.
sure. Unfortunately, didn't work out so well, but I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, that sucked. So we
Yeah,
went on.
and then Falzarin
that's
remembered that, oh yeah, Sardo is a revenant. He can track me and Shaft.
yes.
Right.
Everywhere we go.
I don't think I knew that, but
I mean, I think
makes
I
sense.
think the players, as players, we knew that, but as characters, I did. Well, okay, I think I knew that as a player, but I couldn't. I
It
didn't
was-
remember if Shaft would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Sardo had found us when we were in the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Way
but I
back
didn't
long ago,
ever-
he was
Yeah.
tracking
Listen,
us,
you're
and
getting-
I think Leland specifically said he can track us because he's
Yeah.
a revenant.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
previous Bill knew that,
I
but
forgot.
present day Bill
Exactly.
no longer knew that.
That's what
No, I was saying, how would Shaft know? Did Sardo say, "I can follow you wherever you go,"
Oh,
right,
I
or
don't
something
know.
like that? Because I'm thinking Shaft just thought, here he is coming down the road, and oh shit, there's Sardo's, right? And
Yeah.
and now here he is again, pointing up the hill. I think it made sense. I think we even said something like, it could be anything we picked out of the tent, not just the eye.
Right.
She could be tracking
Yeah, yeah.
something.
Can we have a quick shout out to the old school Sardos?
That's right, Sardos.
And Sarduno.
So
When
much
Bryn-
Sardos.
When Bryn didn't know that Sardos was pronounced Sardo.
Oh, man.
Bryn
Gosh,
slash
that was
me.
so long ago.
Oh, it's so good.
Always be
I-
Sardos to me.
I always
Always.
have to try and
It's
remember.
Sardo! Sardo!
Sardos.
Dang it.
There's only one of them.
And I will say,
Sardo.
he went down pretty easy in episode 1 or 2, and now, man,
Yeah.
what a change!
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
up
He's
there.
got,
a
he's got
bit
his
of a
big boy
beast.
pants on now.
He found a pretty good body to
He's
his
got
spirit
some
to
type
get
of-
into.
Patron, maybe? I don't know.
Is that what it is? He takes over the powers of whoever he inhabits?
Well,
Ooh.
that's not specific to Revenant lore. It's just like they inhabit the closest body, basically, right? When they're defeated. Like
He
even when
found a
Sardo got
handsome body.
defeated, which I think was at the end of 99. Yeah, you saw this, his essence essentially again kind of escape his recorpsed corpse, I believe I said in the episode, and it just kind of disappeared into nothing.
So there'll be a Sard Trace.
Sartrace.
Well,
Sartrace.
it could be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And you specifically were mentioning how handsome Sardo is.
I believe that was the conclusion you came to. I just described his long hair and athletic build.
Fabio.
His athletic build, I mean, that's handsome. Ish.
Well,
Is it
Athletic bit
Butterface?
is, yeah, usually. That is
He's
a
making up for
characteristic
his
that is
looks.
attractive.
Unless he's a sumo wrestler. That's
Ooh,
an athlete.
okay.
That's,
That's
an
still
Very
an athlete.
right.
Yeah.
Well, so
Oh,
we
man.
we'll get to that, I guess. So we went up and we sort of
Just
hid.
go out of order. Do it.
Well, there's no real order to this anymore.
Well, a lot of it
True.
was combat too, right? So it's kind of easy to
yeah.
talk about as far as ordering of operation, because like
Yeah.
it was like an
Because
episode
Mia
and
just
a
killed
half,
everybody.
I think. Maybe closer to almost 2 full episodes of actual combat amongst
Yeah.
these three, kind
Yeah.
of spread out.
There's a lot of combat.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we do see that Erica is wearing a crystal arm now on a harness.
Oh well, you skipped something.
What's that?
we tried to contact Grimby. We finally
I got
tried to
that later.
contact Grimby.
I think that comes a
my-
little. Well, I have it down later. So
Oh.
Well, you did when you saw her before she stormed into the tent. You did see she
Yeah.
had her crystal arm activated.
yeah, because you were describing it. You said it looks just like what the Minotaur and the fuel cells were made of, and also there was black liquid coursing through it like veins.
Oh,
Right.
I believe
my
you said.
gosh.
And you know what the black liquid is, and we know.
Blood?
Well,
it's,
again, it was.
It's the stuff.
Ooze.
Yeah. Did I describe it as being black? I guess I did. It probably looked black from that distance. But
well,
like,
apparently it's not that stuff then.
the Minotaur and the fuel cells themselves have a similar looking liquid, like this bluish black
Right.
liquid. That's what I was trying to describe. It looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It does look distinct from the actual black goo, as it has more
Okay.
of a deep blue tint to it.
I wonder if there's some sort of connection between that crystal thing that we killed in the tent and her crystal arm. Like when she screamed,
Oh.
like what made her
Oh.
scream? Right?
When the Minotaur tartar shattered.
Yes,
the
the
maybe
Minotaur
felt it?
tartar.
Oh,
Leland smiling. I mean, that doesn't mean much, but
Oh, I don't. I think the second time was when she saw the barrel was
Bella.
empty.
he's got the red.
Yeah, but the
yellow.
first
No,
scream
but
when
the
she was
first
still
scream.
outside.
What caused the first scream?
Yeah, what caused the first scream?
That could
Did
be
it happen? Did it happen right when we killed the Minotaur? It
Not-
happened right at the end, right?
Not
remember.
exactly.
No,
but
so there was some time between like you defeating the Minotaur, because then you had that whole time where you pulled Danzig out, you dealt with Danzig, you searched her tent, and then you're kind of hearing this scream as she was off up north towards the city doing something.
Signal was just delayed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was.
yeah,
Poor reception.
poor reception. Only one bar
It
of
is stormy
service.
outside.
That's right.
Oh man.
So yeah, then we get to
Interesting.
our different ideas of what we can do to get the hell out of there, because Leland has sucked our resources pretty well dry at this point. I mean, we were screwed before we even got down to the mountains.
Cannot believe none of you died during that fight.
I thought
neither.
we were. Well,
I had a
We'll
feeling.
get to
I
why
was
we
so
didn't die.
nervous.
I think that
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
'cause-
feel there was
'cause
a
you
lifeline.
saved us. Yes,
There was a bit of a lifeline,
we definitely would have.
but a very epic lifeline, I might add.
yeah, I was getting ready to start a new
yeah.
character sheet. And so we thought, hey, why not call Grimby? You know, well, not like we haven't been talking about calling Grimby for the last 15
3
episodes.
days.
But,
Yeah, right.
but now it's time to give him a call, and he's not home.
I'm so distraught with the
I'm
fact that
a
Grimby
bit
didn't
worried.
reply.
It's all because of the stupid like sending spells are very pricey,
Yeah.
and we just
Well, I mean, had we have sent a sending spell to him yesterday or the day before in game, I mean, who knows what
you think he wouldn't have
that
answered
would have
anyway?
Well, that's
changed
the
at
thing.
all, right?
You were discussing the last time you were discussing sending a message to Grimmy was before the attack. As
Right.
well,
Mm-hmm.
the attack
But, like-
happened like 2 days ago. So would he have responded then?
Hypothetically saying he's dead right now, I mean,
I'll tell you my theory, but I don't want to give Leland any ideas.
yeah, don't do it. tell
Well, I
us
will
in a
tell you-
private Discord
I
message.
will tell
without
you that
Leland.
I know exactly what's going on with Grimby.
So here's my theory is Alamar
Grimby's
was
alive.
down at the dock. He sensed where the vial was that he needs his whatever it was, phlogiston or whatever, went into the boat. They took off, and he either took him out or I think he's probably dead.
That's
but-
what I worry about. Yeah.
Or he's at least unconscious. Now, I don't know if the sending spell would work if someone is unconscious or asleep, or I don't know if it would wake you up if you were asleep or what.
That's a good question. Yeah. Or
Yeah, he's taking an afternoon nap. He's out on the seas, you know.
although I think Mia's Amber Alert, as Elena put it, probably would have
Yes.
jolted him awake if he was taking a cat nap
I mean,
down below deck.
Grimby's probably had a bit of whiskey from the keg on board. He's
Oh,
taking
that's
a
right.
He
heavy
drank our
nap.
elixir. He was like, "What's this?"
He drank the elixir.
Oh!
KO'd.
You finally find
no.
Grimby and he's the lich.
You know, Grimby
Oh.
Grimby gets around, so he probably knows a lot of people, and they're probably always using sending spells with him. So he's probably like me in the evening, and then all the Discord beeps are going off, and you
Just
just go,
mute
the
just
channel,
muted it
right?
for 8 hours.
So-
yeah.
So it popped up, you know, ding, Mia calling, and off it goes.
Yeah. He smashes the snooze button and rolls back over.
That's right.
Yeah, Dean says in the chat that Leland would not kill Grimby. Well,
Well,
not.
Yeah, he would.
if the things that are happening in the world are progressing,
I think
I
Dreg's his new favorite anyway.
progress
true.
must be had. Dreg almost
Grimby.
died 2 distinct times in these episodes.
Well,
No
I
thanks
think
to Falsey's strength check.
if he was gonna kill Grimby off, he would have a after thing on the after the podcast where it described Grimby meeting his fate.
Ooh,
And after
He
credit
wouldn't
scene.
just an after
Yeah.
credit scene for sure.
It definitely wouldn't happen. It
And
wouldn't be like
after-
in passing.
Wouldn't have
A
an
Grimby
off-screen,
after
yeah,
credit scene is overdue. Wink, wink.
Well, don't
It-
But
it
no,
is.
don't wink
I mean-
like that.
Grimby.
Elena, what are you
Don't
doing?
wink like that.
Saying he's alive.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I
Hey.
meant like to prove he's alive.
Well,
So-
if I made a Grimby after credits, obviously the 4 of you would not be able to listen to it. But
Right.
that's also the thing. Like, we're almost up to we're officially now up to a point where all of this stuff that has been happening off mic or after credits that you 4 couldn't listen to, it's all out in the open now. There's
Yeah.
zero information that the listener knows that you do not. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows everything right now.
if we went
Has
back
anyone else
and
not
listened
listened
to it.
to
It's
all
kind of, I mean, we'll skip
Okay.
over that point. But
In an
it's kind
ideal world.
in an
it's,
ideal
it's kind of a
world.
crazy point in our show, right? That like, we're like, it's all,
Things are wrapping up.
knowledge that-
Shit's happening.
yeah. We
Did
all
we
know
get
everything that there is to
XP?
know.
Did we make sure we got our XP?
Oh, I think
Yeah.
I gave you a lot of XP.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
We
fact,
got
you all
big-time
leveled up,
XP.
I believe, after that.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got some work to
that's-
do tomorrow.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. We gotta pick our spells or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
I'm ready to
my,
go.
my point about that is, I don't know what the listeners like. Do they like having information that you 4 don't, or do they like having it also revealed when you 4 have it revealed? Because obviously, I like telling little bits and pieces extra for the listener and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I still get the joy of the 4 of you discovering it too, right? So like I don't
Right.
miss out on anything. It's strictly what the listener may or may not miss out on.
I
I'm
definitely
sure-
prefer not knowing things
Not-
and other people not knowing things. I mean, that's Shaft's whole deal, right?
Right.
Right.
The secrets. So
Well,
yeah, I
I'm
do
sure
miss
it's
that.
going to vary listener whether or not they like I know this is one of the things that John you were talking about way early when we started, that how you wanted it to feel like an action that Shaft was taking. The listener at home would be like, that asshole, why is he doing that? Because Shaft has additional information that the rest of the party doesn't and is influencing those decisions, an unknown influence from the party. But I know that was one of the things you wanted. You wanted the listener to
Yeah.
be like, I get what he's doing, but he's really fucking everybody over right now. And there
Right.
there have been lots of those instances. The whole Falsey abduction by Isabella when he got his scapulet that culminated into this intrinsic bind now between disgusting hag Isabella and poor weakling no spell slots left Falzarin.
Oh, that's one way to describe it.
Oh,
So I don't know.
man.
I think it's a good mix of both.
We still haven't met Jessica either.
It does feel
That's true. We have not met Jessica.
Yeah, there's a
Right.
third good sister out there. Who
or been
knows
to
what
a
she's doing?
tower.
Good sister.
Yeah,
Good with an
Sure.
E on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot to be done. We have a lot to wrap up.
There's a lot
Once we-
going on the mainland for sure. But
Get out
it's
of
not to
our-
say you haven't had your hands full on the Isle of
Right,
Heraclea.
Yeah.
There's been a bit going on, just a bit.
There's been a lot of shit going on.
feel like we did better than we thought we would, though. Like, come on.
You four are doing very well.
We got into this talking about the lack of resources we had, but like, I don't know. I think we did okay.
I think
Yeah.
that fight went really well.
I think working as a team, we're pretty powerful.
Yes.
Yeah,
That-
for sure.
At the end, there are now 4 doppelgangers that look exactly like us
Right.
doing who knows what.
I'm sure that'll be no problem.
What could go wrong there?
I'm sure that's nothing we need to worry
Minus
about.
that.
I mean, they don't have the ring, so it's fine, right?
Yeah, totally. It's fine. We can just ignore that little part.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Why
Yeah.
would she obviously had that
Now,
planned because
John-
as soon as they turned, they left.
They were
I feel
already
like-
looking like us too.
I feel like if we talk about it, we make it
Yeah.
real. So let's just.
Let's just pretend
So they were
this
looking
is-
like deformed versions of the four
Yeah.
of you too.
And then they saw us up close and completed
Yeah,
the
right.
necessary steps
Yeah.
to look.
And
very
each of them had
believable.
like a piece of parchment that they in their hands that they were regarding. And as soon as they got your full images, they were able to toss them.
So there's drawings of us out there.
FML.
Well,
Uh,
not
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. Tell us.
give away the cart before the horse here, but Terry Russell's a pretty decent artist.
Terry, you prick!
Terry's-
Oh my god. We should have killed him.
Terry.
So write
Why
a
didn't
short
we kill
book on all
Terry?
the information we gave him.
Oh, we didn't kill Terry because Shakara and I were being good.
Shakara wasn't corrupted enough yet.
Once
No,
again,
not
let this
quite.
be a lesson to us.
Instead
Never
of
let
killing
anybody
him,
live.
I grappled him and imprisoned him. I should have just killed him, but I was new to being Mia.
Well, and we needed information. We thought maybe we could get some information
Yeah.
from him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
I mean,
that was
Mia
useless.
and Shakar are good, right? Like, it's very Shakara.
With an E? Good with an E on the end?
Come on,
Shakara
remember
good? Shakara
Yeah,
Fighting's the
so
last
come on.
name.
Yeah, Bill, maybe 4 days ago
good.
they were good, but
the Pegasus
like,
incident.
It's
lest
totally. I think you guys played that correct. Like, you were
I
very
agree.
true to your character, for sure.
I agree. I will say, though, much like you were thinking, a lot of information was exchanged with this prisoner. So,
Britt says the
You
one
did
time
what you thought.
leave an NPC alive, you live to regret it.
Yes.
The
Yes.
one time. Although we never Adelaide's character, we never killed her.
no. Well, we've never killed any.
We've
NPC
never killed a
characters.
a guest
Yes.
NPC.
Our guest NPC. that's what I meant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yet.
Yes.
There's always a
very
chance.
close.
You'd have Tom Vassell on and kill him off.
Mm.
He keeps asking,
me
but we just don't have the time.
I know. It's so awkward when he keeps messaging us.
Oh
Sign
my
me
God.
up.
Well,
Oh.
Sardo eventually catches up with you with his sweet, sweet dimension door power.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was nuts.
I have that written down in my notes. What the heck was that crap, man?
So
How
now-
is Sardo doing Dimension Door? That's all sorts of
what
not
level
cool.
spell is that?
Not cool.
Dimension door is only a 4th level spell.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
I thought it was higher than
that's
that.
Still pretty
No,
good.
it's only
though.
four.
Still, like,
For a
that's
punk like Sardo.
what's
It's a good
Sardo
spell.
messing around with 4th level spells? Like, come on, dude.
Well, Sardo's taken over the body of whoever. Do they
That's
retain
true.
that?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
I hadn't thought of it. Maybe he says, I hadn't thought of that. That's a
I hadn't
good
thought
point.
of it either.
Way to go, John.
Well, I
Um,
mean,
This is the part of the show where we give
before we
you
move on
ideas.
to the fight, like with Sardo, like when you first fought him, you fought him mono parto. Sardo
Okay.
parto.
Leland, you know I don't speak Greek.
Sardo like one versus the party, right? And now finally he's come back and he.
he.
True, I'm sorry. 2 versus the party. And now he's come back. I mean, he was missing hands. That's pretty bad for him. But he's come back now. He's teamed up, right? So what's going to happen? Who's he going to team up with now? I mean, his spirit's going to come back. He didn't get rid of it.
You
Yeah.
might want to look into how doing that.
Yeah, how do we get
Yeah,
rid
there's
of a
gotta be a
revenant
way.
spirit?
Yeah, he's got a year
We
to
can
exact
Google
his
search.
revenge.
We could
we
let
just leave
him
him out.
kill
That's not
Shaft
the
and
problem.
Falzarin, and then he goes away, right?
It's
All he
been
has to
what,
do.
a couple. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
he just
is
has
he
to kill
gonna-
the All he wants is Shaft and Falsey.
And I don't know. I still don't know why he wants Shaft. Shaft never did anything to Sardos. Matter of fact, he was telling Sardos to run when we were there.
That is
I
true.
guess guilty by
Yeah.
association, I suppose.
Yeah. So
That's what you get
That's-
for hanging out with Falsey.
I would bet if he just killed Falsey, there's a good chance
He
he'd
might
go
be
away.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He might be fine.
Yeah. I'm willing to see if that works.
Do you
I mean,
think
really,
that
he
now
should have
after
been
killing...
satisfied.
You're willing to test that hypothesis?
But
He
you
should have been
feel like...
satisfied with Bren's death, though. Really, 'cause she's the one that killed him.
That's right.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
not.
And Gozer was a dick to him, too.
Can
Tipping over his-
revenants like
paladin
Sardo...
dust.
He shouldn't have taken that personally. I mean, Gozer was a dick to everybody.
Yeah. Falzarin can
There
attest.
was
I mean,
there was a point in the podcast where I called Leland Hydratia because she was being a big bee. I mean, he...
Falsey tried to help Sardo. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't
Yeah, but
on
then
his side,
you
but
tried to
Shaft
blast
the
him
same
with
too.
a ray of frost, and you missed.
Yeah.
Because he was running out the back of the shop.
that's true. But I didn't mean to deal damage so much as just slow him down.
Mhm,
But-
mhm.
Well, you can explain that to him.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah,
could
I'll
try.
have that
You could-
conversation
Well,
next
you
So
know.
time.
competent, I
Spirit.
intentionally missed.
If the
Sardo's spirit
thunder,
now- Sorry.
if the thunder happy Mia wouldn't go right into a brawl the second.
that was the next thing I had
Yeah,
written
okay,
down.
okay, fine. But real quick on the Revenant note, will the Revenant now be like after Shakara and Mia because
No.
they've now killed Erica, Chucky, whatever? Okay.
No, I do believe it will swears its vengeance on the
Okay.
OG death.
The OG.
So-
he only
death.
gets one chance at it.
yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Okay, sweet. I'm good.
But he will pass on once his vengeful sworn enemy people are dead. So
Britt has a good idea. We could polymorph him and drop him into a bag of devouring, which
Ooh.
tends
have one of
she
those?
had one.
I like the
Yeah.
sounds of that, Britt.
Tenchi did
Tenchi
have one.
did.
That is next level thinking.
But I mean, if
Easy
its
peasy.
body is destroyed, yeah, I guess kill it in a demiplane. That's true. I think it would trap it on that plane, right? It just finds a body on its plane. It doesn't travel. Plane.
Google
Very
Google
intense.
foo, Britt says.
But
when in doubt, use
Uh,
Google to help you how to play D&D.
here's the thing. Here's the thing to think about, though. Where are the closest dead bodies?
Everywhere.
They're all over the place.
Oh no, they're
all
gonna take
over
over
the
Erica's.
freaking place.
No,
Oh,
like Erica's body.
Wait.
Chucky's
Now this
body.
is where we're saying too many
Chucky.
things. When he asks a question like that,
This is the danger
Always-
of after parties.
go to the least dangerous thing. Like there's a lot of cultists around. Don't
there
say
are
Erica.
a lot of cultists
There are a
around.
lot
he
of-
was
There-
already,
Lowly
he's already-
cultists.
he
There
was
are a
already
lot of
against
dead
that.
bodies inside the shell as well.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
May have just
my
given him a ticket
gosh.
inside the shell.
Oh no!
I mean, maybe
I hate
a spirit
this. I
can't.
hate
Maybe
this
the
so
shell
much.
blocks that transference. Maybe,
Yeah,
though.
Yeah,
course
the
it
shell
does.
I would assume it
block
Of course
does.
it does.
Yeah,
It-
yeah,
it-
yeah.
In
The
it-
shell
fact-
block. Yeah.
It absolutely must.
For sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hell, you
There's
think
lots
they would have thought of
cannonballs
that
in a
before?
block of
Think they-
spirit.
I think they would have been like, well, let's just off Sardo. He'll pop in on the other side.
So let's talk about the fact that I attack right away. It makes sense.
It does.
Character-wise.
It does. It absolutely
But I'm
does.
sorry that I interrupted your exposition or whatever you were gonna.
I mean, that's cool. We might have been able to talk.
do you want to say
your
it
way out
now?
of
Do you have your notes open?
No, of course not.
Are you sure?
No, it's quite
Did it make it into the recording where Leland made the comment of like, well, I had a bunch of exposition
Yeah, it did.
prepared
it
for
did.
this.
Yeah. I think what he ended up doing, which was smart, was at the end having Dreg sort of recap some of that, like, well, why would they
Yes, I
want you
did
alive?
have to do that
Yeah, 'cause
just
he's
in
like,
case
well,
it
why
got
would they
missed
want
during
Mia
combat.
alive? Yeah.
I did
'Cause
have to have
what,
Dreg.
he
do
would
it.
have been like,
Thank
I
God
want-
Dreg didn't die. Otherwise, he would have been really fucked.
Yeah. Dreg, honestly, I like Dreg more and more every episode that
Dreg's
He's
pretty
in.
badass. Dreg's pretty
He's
fucking cool.
he's the
legit.
new Grimby. Wait, what?
he's everything Falsey wants to be.
If only he had a boat. Yeah, right. He is.
I mean, granted,
He can
nobody
even
trusted
fireball.
him. Just a few episodes ago, Shaft was the only one that trusted him, and everybody else wanted to off
Hey,
him. But
question
other than that,
everything.
That's
Question
true.
everyone.
I feel
It's
like that's
entirely
just
true.
progress. We're making character progress. We're becoming less trusting of everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that has burned it. I mean, look at friggin'
Brendel.
who is that NPC we just talked about a minute ago?
Grimby?
Greg?
No,
Sardo?
the guy who gave the likenesses of us to the
Terry
doppelgangers.
Russell. Yeah.
Terry, yes. Friggin' Terry.
Yeah. No good. So the hammer flies. And right at Chucky.
I mean,
Oh, sorry, Sardos, sorry. And immediately after, we have It's Fighting Time and Blink.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So
good.
good.
That was really good.
It's
On
fighting
brand.
time. See ya.
I think
Mortal
That's
Blink
our-
cut.
that's our signal, right? Oh, we're going into battle. Look over at Falzarin
Yeah.
and he disappears.
He's gone.
It's on.
Bye.
It's time.
I mean,
Yeah.
Blink is so good. It's so
yeah,
good.
you have to use it.
Yeah.
Blink is awesome. Yeah, Blink is awesome when it doesn't get counterspelled. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't it fail?
It
Yes.
can't.
It got counterspelled.
Yeah, it was counterspell. This is where we learn about counterspell.
Oh yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can fail on your turn if you roll this less than 11, and it can also be counterspelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the effects of it don't go away if you don't get that 11. Is the
Right. That's
distinction
true.
there, right?
Yeah, you still
It's
get
just
you
lasts
still
for
get-
the duration of it. Yeah,
Is it 6 rounds?
I think it's a minute,
Yeah. So that's 6, right?
so 10 rounds.
Oh, 10. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
At math. Come on.
Hashtag
math.
math. Yeah.
Counterspell's
So
weird, right? Weird to role play. Just like
Yeah.
it came up in the episode, just like a creature already using its reaction. That's also strange to role play, right? As far as characters wise, which is just one of those things you got the hand wave. Like whether or not your character would be aware that something was counterspelled, like, yeah, you're just aware. I think it's just the easiest thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think you described it good. He moved his hands, was casting a spell, and then you see the opposing spell. It's two wizards
Right.
fighting each other with
And then nothing
magic.
happens, exactly.
And we're
And
used
I
to
imagine,
the good old blink right at the beginning of
Yeah.
the fight.
I imagine something happens, like there's a visual effect when something is counterspelled. You think, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. It would be like the spell goes, ooh, and then, ooh.
Exactly.
Falzarin's getting excited. No.
Yeah, he's like just starting to like flicker out of existence,
Yeah.
and then he solidifies and
Falzarin, it happens to
Yeah.
everybody. Happens to every wizard.
Yeah.
Okay. Happens to every wizard.
The best of us. Happens to the best of us.
So the only thing I have left written down before I got really busy and had to go do real work was Phantasmal Killer that was cast on Shaft. And the unimaginative snakes that I came up with at the
Snakes are scary for a lot of people.
and I don't know if
True.
you saw on Twitter, we had a snake in the garage
yeah.
not that long ago. and
Did. Yes.
It reminded me of how
You
much
wasn't that big
Shaft
either.
also hates snakes.
Nah.
I do
got
despise them.
within like 5 foot of it, and John was like, "Don't go any closer!" Like his voice got real high pitched. I was like, "I'm not that close
no.
to
I
it."
would have paid to see that. I totally get, because I'm terrified of spiders. They've got too many legs and fangs
This
and
is real
eyes.
life.
It's too much. There's too much
He
going
watched
on.
me
with
kill
those.
one with a Kleenex last night and was like, "What
I won't do
are
it.
you doing?"
I won't do it. I kill them with fire, and that's it. That's where I check
I
out.
kill them with Kleenex. It's
I
fine.
either, more often, I know they're good insects, so I try to trap them and relocate them outside usually. But
I avoid the crap out of them. I see one, I won't go anywhere near it,
If
and
it
then
comes-
I yell to John or Tommy and
Yeah.
like, "Get this thing away from me!"
if it comes to killing, I ain't squishing that thing, man. That's
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to
Nope.
be near it.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Dang.
In fact, I think we
Smush,
have
flush.
a patron-only blooper that includes
Oh,
Emily
about-
freaking out from a spider on her
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make sure that one gets posted first for this month.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I,
that's
I made that one. So
We've heard it for sure. Like I think you, whatever. I wanna
maybe
say
I already
clicked
have
it.
put it out. Maybe I don't
think
know.
you did.
I don't remember.
Who knows? We can't remember anything. I've got
Yeah.
puppy brain.
So
Fun
much to
fact:
remember.
I used to own snakes back when I was
What?
in college. Yes, I
Yeah.
love snakes. I love generally all reptiles, but snakes especially.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Shout
John.
out to Bill's mom in the
Sorry,
chat.
John.
I don't
Bill's
trust anything
mom
about
is
legs.
watching us. I love
Oh
it.
no. Oh,
Bill's mom is watching. Give us
No.
stories. Give us
You know what?
stories.
Those snakes they're just a physical embodiment of a deeper seated fear of shafts that
Sure.
maybe he's only really aware of on a subconscious level, and that's where, you know, the most like instinctual reactions to said unknown fear are really taking place with this phantasmal killer.
Mm.
And
Wow,
is
that
the
is
fear
bullshit
that
that-
he is the new vessel.
I'm just afraid of snakes.
That's it.
What I wanted to ask was, if you guys ever have phantasmal killer cast upon you, and you have to talk about your greatest fear, what would it be on the
Ooh.
spot?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I applaud your ability to think on the spot for that, because
I don't feel that I did a good job. I was going to say,
Uh,
claustrophobia, some kind of phobia overall
Yeah.
would be better, but it's not going to visually be. And like Liam said, doesn't matter. I'm just going to put something on you, right?
yeah,
We don't need to sit here and talk
Hell,
about it. for 10
I mean,
minutes.
if you had said claustrophobia, you would have felt like you were trapped in a box, and then they would have just
Right.
seen Shaft doing his mime
a
routine.
mime,
to do a mime. Yeah,
What would you do if it was something psychological? Because I think Mia's greatest fear would be amounting to nothing and bringing her family no,
Shame.
you know what I mean? No,
Yeah,
bringing her family
uh,
shame and not repping the name properly or something.
Well, what I would just again off the top of my head, that's a really good fear. I would have you see your father and your mother appear in front of you, and one of your father would just walk up
Disappointed
to
in me.
you, take
Spank
the
me.
amulet from around your neck, and take it away from you,
No.
Bend
or
me
something
over
like
the knee.
that. Like I would have them like
Lena.
strip
Yeah.
you of your anything that ties
Okay,
you to Thor.
Strip me of the amulet so then I'm permanently like
Well, see, the
outcast.
thing is, you see them strip you, but you're not. It's not actually physically
It's not
happening.
happening.
So
Okay.
to
Yeah.
you have no amulet. Say maybe your mom grabs the hammer away from you. You feel like you don't even have your hammer in your hands anymore.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
But they still
Oh.
see. You're physically, you may be holding it, but
Just
you
messing with me.
don't realize exactly. It's
Yeah.
really fucking with your head.
it's all psychological.
I could have had
Yeah,
a fear
totally.
of growing taller.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh man, Emily's jab at your joke for being like, well, maybe you're the only one that fits in the barrel. So good.
Holy fuck, that was funny
good. That
on
was-
the
that
re-listen.
was
Oh,
perfect.
that was funny.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was so perfect. Nothing
So
to
Emily,
do with your
what was
bloodline.
your fear?
Spiders, obviously.
Really?
But what's Shakara's fear?
Just
Yeah, Shakara.
Shakara's fear would be failure. Well, original Shakara's fear would be failing Aspara, failing her duties to her clan.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm taking another level of paladin.
that would be my fear, taking another level paladin.
Shakara's fear is that deep down she's really not as good as she
Yeah,
thinks she is.
being evil, being forced to face the fact that she's becoming not good.
Oh man,
For
I
fear?
should have had. Man, imagine if that was cast on you, and then because that was all before the
Pegasus.
Pegasi came
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
to literally play out your worst fear.
Right?
Wow.
Like a
Yeah.
lie detector.
It's like
type
I'm already
situation.
in that head of yours, Shakara.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bill, what'd you go with?
I'm wondering, like, I think a very important event in Falsey's life was him almost drowning. Actually, I don't know if you guys know this.
No, we don't.
Probably
Can
not.
you swim really fast now?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
have
do
any
you have any special
abilities?
powers?
How could
From
you
that-
possibly drown when you can hold your breath for so long?
Well, Falsey couldn't always swim really fast and hold his breath for a long time.
What?
Is Brendel
yes.
being a deep scion kind of one of your biggest fears anyway? And it already
That-
happened.
That's a
Oh,
good
he's
point.
got to be over that by now. That was days ago.
Days ago.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So
Quotes.
probably, I don't know. It's tough because that was a really big event in Falsey's life where he almost drowned.
Mhm.
But it also marked a bit of a new chapter in his life where he gained the abilities that he now has to hold his breath and swim well. And it also was what kickstarted him being interested in magic, starting his new life on Heraklion. So I don't know if, like, I don't think water would be a big fear of his. I think he's gotten over that.
I'd
But
say
maybe maybe betrayal from someone that he loves.
He's
and is
had to
close
get over that. I mean, he's had so many instances of it.
Your
Well,
biggest fear
it's
is
If nothing else, you're
betrayal.
numb to it.
It's
So then-
salt in the wound, man. He's just like getting re-traumatized over and over again. He's like Falsey's probably ready to crack, man.
So Leland, you could make him believe that we were all betraying him right then. The
Yeah,
moment-
totally.
That would probably
If
be
you
the
guys all-
difficulty.
Sees the party literally in their
Yes.
combat stances stop, turn and face him, and join Sardo and Erica.
Oh my
That's-
gosh.
that's probably
Bye,
it, man.
Falzarin. See ya.
Yep.
Blink.
Yeah.
Blink. Good luck blinking.
All right, so
Well,
I don't
I
have
mean-
anything down. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Grit
Now,
says
this-
we all
Grit,
turn
yeah.
into deep scions.
Yeah, that would do it.
Everyone just morphs. into
Everyone's a
Scion.
scion. You're a scion. You're a scion.
And maybe even himself. One of you holds the mirror up to him, and he
Ooh.
sees that
Oh.
he has morphed.
The biggest betrayal of all. He betrayed
Himself.
himself.
He betrays himself.
Oh.
So meta.
We
Oh,
need to
man.
make this into a book. That'd
So
be a good-
meta.
I will
good
say
story.
this fight was fucking amazing. By the end of it, I was so tired and so sweaty.
It was hot.
Like holy fuck!
It was so tense.
Nuts. It was nuts.
Yes.
Whew. And it was so. I felt like even though it was like the end of '98, all of '99, and then like the little bit of 100. So it was almost 2 full episodes. But like, I thought the pacing of it was really well. Through the whole thing too. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was well done, I think.
There's a lot of
Good
rad
idea.
moments.
It didn't feel like it was dragging, even though, that can certainly happen when you've got an episode plus of combat. It's like, okay, come on.
Yeah,
It's enough
yeah.
with the dice rolling.
It was epic. Like I was listening was like intense too. Just even knowing what happened already, right?
I mean, how
Oh,
many
man.
times do we say, let's go kill Erica, and everybody sort of got scared, right?
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
do that. And now here we are, and there's no getting out of it. They were following us. We weren't going to get anywhere. We were going to fight. We knew it.
And we were
Yeah.
all down on
We were
resources.
down on resources.
And
Yep.
hit
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, we were basically screwed.
And again, I think Mia would have thrown her hammer to start it all, but Elena also knew, okay, we aren't going anywhere. Like we got.
It was going to end in a fight. Like a fight.
gotta
was
do
breaking out,
this.
right? You were getting advanced upon. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way Erica's going to sit there and not kill you. Like, obviously, well, all 3 of them had their agendas. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't care about Shakara. I probably could have slunk off.
You 100% probably could have.
They
The other
seem
thing
to
is, like-
all hate Shaft equally, though.
Yeah, Shaft's the one that binds everyone in the middle. It's like he's the nucleus of this hate atom.
Yeah, the hate circle.
So. What was that?
Oh my goodness. Stranger in the
Um,
house.
No, I think it was our tenants. Okay, so I remember knowing that Erica wouldn't kill me, but I think in the like, what resources do I have staring at my computer while playing at the same time, I missed the comments about Cray Lakina wanting her.
But you know what, though? I think
Dreg brought it up.
he did in 100, but you mentioned something about it in 99.
I did? Okay, well, I
Yeah.
easily forgot.
So like somewhere,
distracted.
somewhere along like finishing the fight and like figuring out, because there was the last bit of 100 was like we had taken a break and then we came back. Let's record an extra hour kind of thing, because we basically ended at the endish of that fight and where you were kind of hunting down Chuckster. Poor Chucky.
That all said to say, like, in combat, I was actually afraid I could still die. And no one could
Yeah.
revivify and all this stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
I had
Well-
one hit point left.
yeah, it just was bad. I don't
And
know.
there was a point in 99, I think it was, where you're like, I could use my one. I was like, you might want to save that.
I was joking about that.
I know, so was I, but you good thing you saved it.
Well, and you, Emily, convinced me to use some of my healing. Like I was like, I only have this spell left, and she was like, do healing, and it was like,
Yes.
I hate using spell slots for healing when I feel like I could.
You're the cleric.
I know I'm the cleric. Like, listen, we've talked
Yeah.
about this. I know I'm the cleric, but I'm also a Tempest cleric that deals crazy amount of damage in
Damage,
yeah.
storms.
You do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And again, on the record, killed 2 out of the 3 generals there. So it's on the record that we officially played it out.
Mhm. We'll get to all
Ben
that
is
later.
keeping track.
I've
It's
got
all in
that.
his
I've got
spreadsheet.
that to talk about later.
Because I care
We'll get
about
to
it.
there.
I'm not competitive at all.
Yeah.
So
Well-
next time we get in a big fight, the three of us will step back and let you take care of it.
Let me handle it. Yeah.
because you
Let's
can take
go.
care of it.
Sure. If
Well,
it'd
could
be
you
really, if
have
I acted
imagined-
cocky, it'd be funny to do that.
Yeah, right. If you could imagine if like Erica successfully knocked me out, because like she would have
Yeah.
tried to put you on her mount and probably take you away, right? What
Like
would
if
happen
I was
then?
all she wanted out of that, and Sardo and Chucky were the
Would-
ones with revenge, you know, she could have just taken off. Yeah.
See, I don't think Erica would have left Shaft there
True.
with Chucky and Sardo, knowing
True.
that Chucky and Sardo both wanted him dead.
That's
she
right.
Well,
wanted
in
him
the
alive.
vessel. So get both
Yeah.
of us on a mount, and then you guys would at least know to find us near Kralakina, right? Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So those Catoblepas are pretty powerful.
Man, they
Oh,
suck.
Holy crap!
I'm
I'm
not
so
a
glad they
fan.
didn't hit. Like,
No.
What was it?
Their
oh,
Things are
their
the
tails
worst.
do a ton of damage. That death
So much.
ray
The death ray is
is
lethal,
bonkers.
man.
So the death ray, so they have what's called a recharge. Many monsters have a powerful ability that at the beginning of their turn you roll a d6. If you get like a 6 or whatever the number is on their recharge, it comes back and they can use it again. So I think I did mention that somewhere in the episode.
Mhm.
One or
Yeah.
two of them I think recharge, but they just weren't getting recharges. That death ray, if it drops you to 0, you die. You just
Period.
flat out die
Oh,
because it's
wow.
a death ray.
no
Yeah.
saving
Wow.
throws. And
No
that's-
death saves, you're just dead.
Thanks for picking that monster to go against us, Leland.
you were rolling terribly, Leland. Like you kept commenting
Thankfully.
on it, and it was kind of perfect. for the story
Yeah,
as
I
well.
was
Clutch.
rolling really
might
low
say.
on some attack rolls. Like I think I rolled 14 like 3 times in a row. Like
Yeah.
Whew.
I remember rolling 2 1s when I tried to roll my heal dice or whatever, and I was like,
yeah, you did.
"Ah!"
Yeah.
Because you guys could witness that on D&D Beyond. I was like, why am I using? They're like, next episode she goes back to rolling the real dice because oh,
Beaten.
20 heal points. There you go on
So-
3d6.
The Pegasi. Was
Yeah.
that a
Fail safe.
and a fail safe? Yeah. So there's not a TPK.
They were always going to be sent.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them almost died though, from
Yeah.
Sardo's lightning bolt.
Yeah.
It almost
Oh.
took out 2 of them.
Because I think that gave a little bit of hope to us. Because other than that, I just
We
don't
were
think
dead.
we were going to make
100%.
it.
If they hadn't
Yeah.
showed up,
Oh.
we were dead.
Yeah,
I
well,
was-
you may not have even gotten to them. Like you had trouble still getting to them, right? Like
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
there like for 3 or 4 rounds of combat before all of you could actually physically get to them and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
I was very concerned in this fight. Like I thought there was a very, very good chance that Falsey was toast. Along with
I felt like you didn't take as
Everyone.
many hit points as the
one or
rest
two
of us,
others
though.
of us. I know, but he became a weak. I said this on Mike in the episode, but he was basically a squishy NPC with no abilities because he lost like almost all of his spell slots. So he can cast like Eldritch Blast.
Cantrips. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
if me and
Like,
Shakara went down, Falsey wouldn't have lasted much longer.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got very,
Greg
very
would have
lucky.
died.
With
Yeah.
our AC, like we were still getting hit, but we missed a lot of hits as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it's funny. Like out of the 3 of them, like Erica, I think she might have ended up kind of being the weakest, even with her crystal arm. Although
Yeah.
on some of the damage that she actually dealt, I rolled really low. Like I rolled like the least amount of damage I could have on some of them. But like her and Chucky, they both really like their weapons like incapacitated. Like they just stopped movement as they were controlling you, kind of thing, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It was
I
scary.
think in his heart, Shaft wanted to let Chucky live, but he's got enough things trying to kill him now. So I think the pot shots at the end were just a cruel and slow, painful death for poor Chucky.
Yeah, just he couldn't do anything. Like there's
Yeah.
literally nothing he could have done. Like there's nowhere he could have
Yeah.
hid. Yeah, he was just
And again-
a fish in a barrel.
I mean, he could have came and talked to me. I would have gave him the money. Well, I would have gave him the money when I got it.
Oh, okay.
It's coming.
I
It's
didn't
coming.
have it.
I've got
on
it.
me.
I've got it soon.
This fight was the closest thing to being in the cave when Bryn died. in my opinion. And it was very much like Chucky was the one person that we didn't spend much time hitting and could have been really dangerous. You know what I mean? Like that's what happened in the cave, at least from what I remember.
Yeah.
You kind of end up focusing on more like the other two or Erica or whatever, right? And then there's one that goes, because we're like, what's Chucky look like here? Like, it looks fine. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
for like 4 rounds when he arrived,
Yeah.
like no one even hit him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then enter the this is going to be cut out battle of who killed Chucky. But
yeah, it ended up being left in.
yeah,
Left
as
it all
always, as always.
in. Because it didn't
But-
take as long as I thought it was going to.
We got a couple good quotes.
But yeah,
Oh yeah, we
Drag-
did.
Drag is a lover, not a fighter.
drag.
Yeah, a drug drag. Leland said,
drag.
"You know, I love drag. I don't want drag to die." And Elena said, "It's almost like Leland was prepared for this."
Yeah, that is true.
Falsey also used his last tattoo.
William the Wasp.
Yeah.
Yes.
MVP,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yes.
And
The
I would
wasp
like to note
killed Sardo, right?
there was a
Mhm.
quote from Bill that was used that occurred. He
Yeah.
said action economy,
Mm.
which might trick a unobservant listener into thinking that Bill knows how to play D&D.
I don't think anybody was fooled.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to worry about that.
I don't want to. I'm unsure about using this wasp because it's going to use my action, and I trying to make use of action economy, and everyone was probably like, "What? What are you saying?" But no, Leland corrected me because that wasp got to go right away, which was sweet.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was dealing poison damage to an undead creature.
Ooh,
Yeah, less than ideal.
less than ideal.
Yeah.
Should we
Would have been really good against Chucky.
Yeah.
talk about? I want to know how Shakara feels about Mia killing Erica.
I don't think Shakara's really had a chance to process that yet.
Well, what are you gonna play it like tomorrow?
I got to think about that tomorrow.
Now, give me some prep time here for.
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Because she did go over and technically Shakara stabbed Erica. I mean, she was already dead.
After she was dead. Okay.
She was
Oh, I
already
mean-
dead, but
You're like,
but I
I'm
did
no
stab her.
paramedic. She could have been alive.
She could have still had a heartbeat.
Yeah, so we're going on
Maybe.
technicalities. I see.
Making sure. I mean, technically, I followed the vision. I stabbed her.
Killed her the second time.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Sardos has definitely been around more than once, so this time,
Yeah.
Erica the Revenant, who knows?
There has been so much in the last day happening for Mia with Herafina and the Pegasises, and killing Erica, killing Chucky, like just even killing in the cave there with the cultists and stuff. Like
Yeah, killing in the
Mia-
cavern. Dun dun dun.
dun, 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 dun. playing Mia like she needs a potion of heroism, and playing shy like, can I live up to what was, what I trained for my whole life, is starting to kick in. And yeah. Maybe she will. Maybe I should play her a little bit more confident.
And that was like 5-ish days ago when you were on
It's
the mainland getting that from Campbell.
crazy.
Yeah.
And think about in 2 days too. We've leveled up twice in 2 days, like all of us, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that
We're,
type
like,
of power
grinding through these levels.
is coursing through her veins, and I'm going to need to think about that when we play next, right? Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Shaft's respect of her has been growing, and I appreciate and like that. And then now you guys know there's something Erica wanted from me. That's mysterious.
Well,
Not again.
Erica said
Concerning.
didn't
Kralakina
want
would like
anything
you.
from you.
Sorry, Kralakina. Yeah, and
Kralakina
Emily,
specifically.
you had a good point. Like maybe like a hostage for Thor. Like if you want to ban Kralakina, you need to pay the ransom or whatever. Right? Like I've been
Yeah.
taken.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I missed it or not, but where the hell did the Pegasi come from?
This guy.
Thor.
I mean, this little safety net popped in and helped us, and now we have these these flying horses.
Got
But
pets.
why? And they weren't all on board for all of us anyway.
No, they weren't.
So why are they there?
Mia's
We-
godmother.
I honestly think that someone, Thor himself,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, knows that Erica wants me. Herafina knows that Kralakina is being summoned. Like, there's different things because now I've been in touch with Herafina.
I think
I called
Herafina
out
just
to
sent
her.
them to help you. She
Yeah,
figured you probably could use some help.
Yeah,
And she
Yeah.
could have sent them like the day before, and it just took them that long to get to us,
true.
find
It's true.
us.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
Well, Herafina does love making an entrance, so.
She does. That is true.
Yeah, they were just circling around up above, waiting for us
Just
to
waiting
really
for
need
the right
them.
moment, yeah.
Yeah. They'll be really grateful for this now. We can go down.
Well, okay, so I have two questions. One more back to kind of Erica. For Falls, how does Falzarin feel about Erica's death now? What is Falzarin going to do with Izzy?
Ooh, right.
Yeah,
Erica's
because
dead.
Falzarin was supposed to
Yeah.
kill her.
Yeah. So I think Falzarin decided some time ago that this pact, this deal that he agreed to with Izzy it's a
Not good.
losing situation no matter what happens. Like it's never gonna be that Erica's like, oh sweet, okay, here's all this power and you're off the hook. It's just gonna be
So you don't
Thing
think
after
she's
thing
going
after
to
thing.
take off the scapulet now that you've done your part of the deal?
No. Falzarin's a pawn for Izzy, is what he thinks, and he's in a situation that's eventually going to be life-threatening sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time before Izzy
Yeah.
decides that she's had enough with toying around with this little pawn that is Falsey.
Does Falzarin think that we can break this pact or bond?
He's sure hoping. Otherwise, he's SOL. Yeah.
Maybe unicorns have phlogiston in their veins.
I mean, only one way to find out.
Still say we just ripped that scapulet off. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, what's the worst that could
I
happen?
mean, she
Falsey
told you you'd die,
lose
but
the-
she lies all the time.
That's true.
We'll just
So-
bring you back.
Britt asked if any of us read up on Pegasi or Pegasuses.
Nope.
No.
Yeah,
Nope.
I didn't even know they existed in D&D, if I'm being honest.
There's honestly not much to read. Like, you all got the
They're
information
smart
about them from
horses
your
with
knowledge
wings.
checks.
Yeah.
I mean, my assumption is they're not our Pegasi. They're going to dump us off someplace and they're going to move on to.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to sit around like you just got a new Porsche and now you can park it someplace and use it whenever you want it.
I mean,
Well, that was my question. Do you all
Mia
think
wants
they're
that.
sticking around? Obviously, John doesn't.
No.
I don't think they're going to stick around either.
I thought if they wouldn't stick around for everyone, Mia could potentially summon one, kind of like she summons Buttercup or something. Shikara.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
So you're going to
I
be
don't know.
Gandalf who like lets the moth go and
It's got Thor's thing on the saddle.
Calls the Eagles.
It's my
Yeah.
boy.
What was that? They had something on the saddle that from Thor?
They
Is
had
that what you-
Thor's symbol on
Yeah.
the saddle.
Oh, I didn't catch
Leland
that.
did say they bonded with us. Whoever was
Yeah.
riding the individual
It seemed like
Pegasus,
it,
that
yeah.
one.
And it also listened to me when I talked to it about Shikara. So I just thought maybe at least mine would stick around. I don't
Well,
know.
Yeah.
you helped in Shakara's plea for
Yeah.
her mounts
Yeah.
to cooperate with her. Absolutely. So this was kind of a cool chance for me to bring in alignments. Like, we don't really give a shit about alignments all that much, right? Like, and
yeah.
so
Balls sure doesn't.
Pegasi, they like to have good aligned mounts, right? That's what they
Yeah,
prefer.
and all of us are good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well,
No
so
problems.
mechanically, the way I broke it down was, if you were good aligned, you didn't need to make any animal handling check to get it to take off. If you were neutral, you would have to make a check, and if you were evil, you would make it a disadvantage. It's
I
basically
thought you
the
didn't
loose
make Shaft check though.
Shaft.
Chaotic
I think
neutral. And I think I
make
did.
him. Yeah, he did make
Oh,
an
I thought
animal
you didn't.
handlings.
Okay.
And Falsey, of course, did, despite being chaotic good, because of Isabella's taint rubbing all over him. He
Ew.
had to
Yeah.
make his check.
Well, that was my
And-
favorite spot when he said, I'm going to use Eldritch
Bill's
Blast.
face said-
Yeah, that was brilliant.
that was
I
funny.
think
That
Bill
could've
then
Killed
or
you.
Dean commented on that earlier about
Yeah.
yeah, perhaps not the wisest of spells to use while atop of Pegasus.
Oh man, if
Oh,
that
so
had killed you, I don't know
That would have been
what
so sad.
I would have
So
done.
like
That would
stabbing
have been
somebody
really
in
sad.
court.
That's the worst way for Falsey to go.
I'm innocent. And that too.
Oh, man.
All right, we got any questions?
Wait, did we go through all of 100?
I think we went through everything that
Not
I had
quite.
written down.
There's a bit of the Vine stuff to cover, but I think
What about
I-
Shaft and the wand and all that business?
sure,
He's
yeah,
gonna-
Shaft
yeah.
kind of came
Oh.
clean with some of the items that he had and let Falzer inspect them and showed you
But
both Surma
again-
and Sybil's wand.
And
Yep.
Shaft used a warlock wand
Yes,
that
exactly.
He sure
Falzarin
did.
couldn't get to work.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
And
Not at
also,
all suspicious, Shaft.
Again,
Yeah, I felt left out. Everybody needs to be a little warlock, right?
that's awesome.
We did just level.
The other thing is like size aside, what's going on with you and Danzig? What's in your backstory? What's in your history that
Yeah,
makes
why are you
a
good
more
vessels?
acceptable vessel? Yeah, he said, I guess we just make good vessels. Okay,
Mhm.
haha. But like, why?
Well, that's the thing, right?
They fit in a
Like,
barrel.
there's
Shaft in a barrel.
There's got to be something in Shaft's history.
I mean, Surma, picked up on that with Danzig a number of years ago, right? And
yeah.
so this has all been brewing.
Yeah,
for-
yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened? What do you do now with the Kraken in the pentagonal structure?
The
What
The
are you
Tritons
gonna
have
do
got
with
it
that?
covered.
Yeah,
Tritons
I
have
think
got it covered.
we need a lot. We need to think a lot before tomorrow.
No kidding.
A lot to think about.
And the giant weasel. All the cultists were getting slaughtered to make the vines come faster, and the giant weasel was also slaughtered. So what does that mean for Thunder McScruggins?
Oh,
Well, I mean, that was one of the reasons they keep him around is because he's got this near unlimited supply of animals to sacrifice. So
oh, true.
So you think he's just pulling crap out of his bag for them to sacrifice?
he's got to
So
still
Thunder's
blend
probably
in, I
fine.
guess.
Kill
Thunder's
Thunder and
fine.
take the bag.
I mean,
Don't give him ideas like that.
Oh,
Leland.
sorry, Matthew.
the Kraken's important, but I think we all are on the same page of like Vine's dome first.
Doppelgangers,
Yeah.
Kraken, still Alamar's out there somewhere. What the fuck happened to Grimby?
Yeah, but priority, the dome, the city, the vines.
I mean, what
Yeah.
is our priority right
That's
now, right?
Mia's
I
priority.
think one of the main things we were there for was, when you go way back, let them know that the Kraken was there, which
Yeah.
we already know. We know where it's at. We know everything about it. And then when the city was attacked, was to kill Erica. Done. Check. Boom. We know that Isabella is more than likely in the city with
All stuff.
Alstoff. But what do we
Well,
do about that? I
I'm
mean,
not.
Does Shaft not
She definitely
see
was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
all stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Does Shaft
thought-
not see himself as the hero Heraklion needs right now? That's what we are.
Shaft
Like
ever
the
see himself as a hero?
I think
I don't know, but we're the only ones doing anything about anything.
I think Shaft, is there. He has no other option but to help, and he's no point in. He might as well get some good. He's safer with you guys than he is anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially with no Grimby to call upon. Now what the fuck is Shaft? Like, Grimby's
I-
one out. Grimby was Shaft's one out.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
If Grimby had except for the fact that we're all on a podcast, I think Shaft, if he had the option to hook up with Grimby and get the hell out of there, he would have done
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. And we just never had that opportunity.
No.
And I did think about messaging Leland and going, hey, if I can get on the boat we can just do a little side episode with what's going on with the Grimby Shaft and let
Right.
those guys do their thing.
Let him float away. So
That'd
what
be
is
sweet,
what is
actually.
Shaft's priority when we get back?
Shaft's
to playing?
priority is to get the hell out of Heraklion, number
Yeah.
one. He's got
You don't care about the vines. You don't care about the crap.
No, I'm not saying I don't think he's not going to help or do it. I don't think his options are so limited he's going to help.
Yeah.
Right?
What about Falzarin? Now that Erica's dead, what's your priorities?
Falzarin feels an obligation to try and protect and help Heraklion in its current plight. Because I think it's the place that he feels is more home than anywhere else. Like, he wasn't originally born on Heraklion, but he spent a good deal of his life there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, if there's an opportunity that arises for the party to leave Heraklion while it's still under siege. That's going to be challenging for Falzarin. Yeah, I think he wants to ensure that Heraklion is not, decimated and wiped off the face of Aspara more than anything else.
Well, that ain't looking good.
No, it's dire.
What's Shakara's priority?
Well, I mean, Erica's done. Her vision showed Erica being killed and then the Kraken going away. So I don't think she feels the Kraken is a priority. So definitely the vines would be the number one priority because she still wants to save the city. And that's been what she's been trying to do for the past day and a half. How long this battle's been going on. So she still there's still enough good in her left that she wants to save the city still.
I think the vines are Mia's priority. What would you say Dreg's thinking about, Leland?
I think
Dreg's
Dreg's very much on the same page as Falzarin. I think, like, yeah, also, like, this hasn't been Dreg's home for like 2 decades, but it's still a special place to him, and he feels this obligation, I think, because, like, his creation is literally the last bastion for this city right now, right? And has been for like the last 2 days. So I think if, like, the party's direction is taking them to protecting the city, then he's going to stick around with you. And I think, quite frankly, he's beginning to like all 4 of you, really.
Yay!
Vision for Dreg to be a permanent member of the party.
He's very powerful. I must say, I really, really like Dreg. I'm very glad he didn't die.
The way we keep around NPCs that we really like is we get Leland to like them because then they get death save throws.
Yes. So if we could just find a new DM to carry on the story, Leland can play Dreg.
Well, I mean, would you have felt satisfied if I just let Dreg die because he dropped to 0?
No.
Yeah.
I think that would have sucked, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have sucked.
I think
because there was still a chance he could have died.
Yeah. I think that was totally an appropriate call on your part to give him an opportunity to be revived.
I mean, I'm still going to call it out, but yes.
Well, I think it's also a lot because, like, he's an ally of yours, right? Like,
yeah.
If he was your enemy, like, I didn't, like, Chucky's not getting death save throws. Erica and Sardo aren't getting death save throws.
Right.
Like, it's not.
Right.
Because otherwise, it literally amounts to you knocking them down and then just standing over them, stabbing them a couple more times. Like, that's right. What do we need to play that out for?
Right.
What we've talked about
And
before,
no one
where,
was
like,
around to stab Dreg, so he could potentially still be saved.
It's like a situation by situation basis where you can make the call as the DM, and I think that was the right call.
Yeah, I decided.
Like, it's our game, right?
And
Like,
who
so
does.
rules are there the rules are rules,
Yeah.
but we're not gonna, right? Like, it's our game and our story. Makes more
Totally.
sense.
Absolutely.
So I got a question. What do you, I mean, like we were asking what Shaft's motivation was. Shaft's motivation is to get this done, to get the hell off this island. Whatever it takes. If it takes getting rid of the vines or getting rid of the Kraken, that's what'll have to be done to finally be able to go. But do you think, what do you think the situation is? When is this going to be done? Is it when the vines are done? Is it when the Kraken's gone? Is it when Isabella's dead? Is Alamar's Lich thing gonna come back up again? I mean, when are we done on Heraklion from the party's perspective with all these little things, these little threads that are still out there?
Vines, Kraken, maybe Alamar.
Thought
Figure
you
out what's
said
going on
Shakara
with him.
doesn't care about the Kraken.
I mean, I think she would still, if she thinks it, because of what Dendar showed her, the vision, she thinks the Kraken is a non-issue. But she's still going to double check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. Because I
mean, what-
mean, Shakara didn't kill Erica. That was in the vision. So maybe the vision's not exactly what's going to happen. Maybe.
I mean, the Alomar thing was a big deal there for a short period of time.
Yeah, he's
And
kind
now
of
it's sorta-
vanished.
Is that something once we
It's not.
save the city?
It's not that it's not a big deal. It's that there are more pressing issues.
Yeah. If we could see Alamar in his wizard form, or perhaps in a lich form, he would certainly be closer to the top of the list of priorities, but
So out of sight, out of mind.
he's MIA.
Yeah.
He's MIA right now.
There's
can't
only
So
so much
scry 'em.
time in the day, really.
Since we
I
can't
mean,
scry spy.
we got to get rid of these vines.
Yeah,
That's
suddenly a
number
lich
one.
appears at the front gate, and then we're like, well, we're on the vines right now.
You just hold
Hold
on a
off
minute.
for
We'll
a
get back to
while.
you.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, though. You think if Alamar has, since the last time you've seen him, achieved lichdom,
Dumb.
hood,
Lichdom.
lichhood. I mean, Heracleon's like kind of his city. What do you think he's
Well,
thinking of?
I
Because
was
wherever he is I mean, most likely unaware of exactly what is going down right now. I mean, all you know is Dreg saw Almar down at the dock during the attack, and then now he's gone from
he's
the
gone.
story.
Yeah, he's
Right now.
likely not on the island of Heracleon is Bill's best guess. And I was gonna say that I don't know that Falzarin thinks this. In fact, he probably doesn't think this, but I think that the more that we play, the more I wonder if his means aren't good. Like becoming a lich is inherently evil. But I wonder if his intents do, in a twisted way, have Heracleon's best interests at heart, from his perspective.
Maybe.
But
would he
I mean,
leave?
unlike Pegasus's, I did Google liches,
Yeah.
and becoming a lich, you tend to cut ties with everything in your past. So it's something that you care about, you no longer care about.
Dean says that Almar's off having a drink with Grimby somewhere. So
I think they're on the Rising 3 partying it up, the bongos playing.
drinking
and,
elixirs.
drinking elixirs together. I got something good. I can see Grimby. Wait, I got something great. I know where it's at. I hit it down here.
Oh no!
You're going to love it.
I do want to real quick before we move on say that Mia's priority is the vines, but I don't think she would want to willingly leave the island without figuring out and banning Krayt-Lakina, the Kraken, especially after reading her history, her family's history. She might even want to dive into that.
Sure.
But she is super happy to be a part of a team with you guys. And like in the last week or whatever, I don't even know if it's been longer than a week that she's known you, like seen the power creep and the stuff that we are capable of together, and grown to feel confident fighting in a group with you guys, and knowing that maybe it's not the Neogi specifically that I've been researching for a year, but like all these different things are happening to Aspara, and her world and horizons are broadening, and she wants to stick with you guys.
Yeah.
But Krayt-Lakina needs to be dealt with. She wants the city to feel and be safe. I think she would also, I can't remember because it's been a while now. Does she know exactly about the pact with Falzarin? I think she does.
I think that's pretty out in the
Yes.
open for everybody now.
So she doesn't know about Shakara's pact, I don't think, but she knows about Falzarin's or something like that.
Yeah,
think
you
she would
don't know about Shakara's. That's right.
I think she would
Because
want
you
to
were
help
asleep
Falzarin.
when Shakara came clean to Falsey. On
So
the
yeah,
Rising
if
3,
helping
the last
Falzarin
time
means
you
doing
saw the
something
Rising
about
3.
Isabella,
Right.
then maybe she would do that. And I think she would do that before worrying or searching out Alamar. But yeah, I think out of sight, out of mind happens a lot with us, and that might be the Alamar thing. But I think we're just being reminded, especially with the Revenants and Sardo and Chucky, right? Like out of sight does not mean it's not coming back. So Alamar will return at some point. But do we need to be like worrying about the tower job and then Alamar shows? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Because
Right.
I think Shaft deserves to be heard and have a say in what our party does next. We just have to get over these hurdles to get him on his storyline, right? Like to these towers.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's looking at it. Other than his friendship with Falzarin, you guys are still relatively new. I mean, in the span of 1 month, you two coming in, and you've changed so much in 3 days, 4 days, whatever
Right.
that is. And then, I think he's no hero. He's really out for number one for the most part, and he's got guys that he works for that have given him a quest or
Yeah.
a thing to do, and this is a very much a sidetrack hero adventure right now.
Do you think though that Shaft could change too? We're all changing. Can Shaft change and maybe start viewing himself as a hero?
Well, I think one of the reasons I wanted to do the backstory episodes with Shaft, which I have some more written we got to do, is to show that he's one of those guys that's,
He has changed.
He has different levels, and something
He's
might
like an
draw
onion.
him out to do, is he going to do the right thing for the right reasons or not? And I think part of the character is if he's always helping all the time, that goes away as a character. You have to have the balance of having him be able to, you want the listener, in my opinion, to never always question what his next move
Never
is going to
know.
be.
Yeah.
And if he's
That's
always
fair.
on the good side, helping out, and everybody's all arm in arm helping each other,
Yeah.
that's dead.
Yeah.
In Mia's perspective, though, he isn't giving himself enough credit and viewing himself as the hero that he is in her eyes, right?
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's also the play between your character and my character is
Right.
the fact that there's things going on, but he can see how powerful you are and how much of an ally you would be. But he's also has, like Falzarin, issues with being able to trust people and not know when they're going to turn. Right? He's never been very trusting after this whole backstory situation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's always everybody that you trust is going to screw you at some point in time, and you don't want somebody that's going to screw you that's as powerful as you are, right? You want to manipulate that situation.
Right. Yeah.
The chat is suggesting that Shaft and Mia fall in love and settle down.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. They're also suggesting that Shakara tames the Kraken and can ride it like a bestie.
Yeah, Dean says he wants to see us get rid of the vines, befriend Alamar, tame the Kraken who becomes Shakara's bestie. I'm good with that.
Yes.
And I
they
think
said, what tower job?
I don't know if I've brought this up before, but I guess since everybody knows a lot about everybody now, you know that Shaft has never cheated on Nina.
Yeah.
I mean, you think we know
Yeah.
more than we know. I didn't know you were actually officially with Nina.
Shaft has been to a lot of brothels and Shaft has been to a lot of places, but never has
Only for info.
anything ever been
You have an open
revealed.
relationship?
Right.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So yeah, if Mia wants to put some move on him, we'll see what happens. But
No.
See if
So
that
you go
torch
to
is still
brothels for
burning.
info? You just go
Huh?
for the information and the sneaky sneak? You don't... All right.
I mean,
if you're going to get information, where are you going to get it?
That's true.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
goes for the good music.
I don't know
Right.
necessarily. That,
That's the good food. He goes for the food. It's like that.
have really
what is
good
it, the
chicken
NBA
wings,
player
okay?
that they let out of their bubble down in Florida for a funeral, and they caught him at a strip club because he liked the food there.
That's right.
Uh-huh. Right.
So fucking
yeah, I don't know that Falzarin or for that matter, Shakara or Mia know what Shaft does, but like
Sure.
as a listener,
mean-
I know that Shaft goes to these places and
He makes it a point to let everybody know, hey, I'm going to get lucky and I'll be gone for a
Yes.
little while. And
That's
look at all
not-
the advantage I have during that time. You think I'm out getting lucky, and
Yeah.
I could go do other things.
I don't
Or
think you've
I
done
can
that
get
at
it.
all since you met Mia.
Not since I've met
Well,
Mia,
he's not
no.
exactly had
Yeah.
a chance.
Exactly.
No, he hasn't had a
Right.
chance since he met Mia,
Not like-
and I don't think Nina would have been mentioned yet. So Mia doesn't
Right.
know about any of
No.
I
that.
don't
Yeah,
think
I don't-
the brothels in Heraklion are all that great.
I don't think that any of our
They're a little
characters
They're
know
very
that about Shaft, but
not
us as
magical.
listeners know that Shaft doesn't get lucky when he goes out to a brothel. He more often than not tries to get some information.
Yeah, the thing about Shaft's character is like Tobias already changed.
Yeah.
And that's Shaft. You have Shaft. Shaft's
Yeah.
already changed.
Right.
So I'm not
For
sure
sure.
how much venturing is going to
So
change
can
him
we
even
turn
further.
Gollum back into Schmeagol?
There you go. That's a way to look at it.
I think Falzarin is optimistic that I think Falzarin sees that there is some good in Shaft, and he vacillates between, a little bit of the Tobias that was more, what's the word? Trusting, I guess, and seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, compared to Shaft, who has been through some crap and doesn't trust people. And I think Falzarin is hopeful that more often than not, we're going to get the side of Shaft that does the right thing, even though there's always the possibility that Shaft's going to look out for number one and maybe screw us.
Well, he's definitely been leaning the way of helping out for quite some time now.
Absolutely. And that's what Falzarin has seen thus far, is that Shaft has generally made the decision that's most beneficial for our party. So
Yeah.
McDad's coming in just to say hi.
Yeah.
hello,
hey,
David
Superman.
Dave.
So you have a short rest as well, and you get to look at some of these
Yeah.
books. Shakara looks
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some of the writing of the conversations of the past 3 years, kind of confirm a bunch of details that you all had theorized and suspected, getting a bit of confirmation of what's been going on in Heraklion. And obviously there's a lot more information there that could possibly be plumbed from it too, right?
Oh,
It's
I'm
just a
definitely
matter of-
reading that book cover to cover as soon as I get a
Absolutely.
chance.
It's a matter of taking the time. Well, maybe one day the party will actually get some downtime.
What? What's that?
Yeah, what is that?
A long rest. How do you do that?
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad about that armor. I really wanted it to like form fit to my body and be magical because
Yeah,
of
no,
the hump in it.
I mean, it is magical, but the armor is really cool. It
Yeah.
helped boost Chucky's strength for when he's wrangling. That's how he was going toe to toe with Shakara when he had her wrapped up with his whips, which I think the whips are pretty cool too.
I did get some cool whips out of that. Now I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait till Shaft can double whip it.
Yeah,
Whip it good.
Whip it
Shaft is going to be a
good.
lot more fun at the brothel now.
Oh.
That's right. That's how you get more information.
Oh man.
I mean, those whips are cool. It's cool that you can like grapple someone from 10 feet away and just stop
Yeah.
their movement, right?
Yeah.
That could be really handy.
Yeah. And of course, Erica's harness. I don't know what you all are going to do with that. But that could be.
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of cool too.
Who took that?
Mia
I have
has
it.
that, I
Okay.
believe.
I would like to have a third arm, you know?
There you go.
Boom boom. I don't know.
And-
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah, and so as you were respecting some of your items, you played with the little silver disc, the discus, that you
Right.
found in Erica's tent as well.
Listening back to that, because it was like electricity that went into it, I'm wondering if it's some type of like battery or power source or something. I didn't think of that the first time. I don't know.
It's a capacitor.
Yeah. Like maybe it wouldn't drain other people's HP, right? It was just draining mine.
It seemed to only affect you out of the three of
Yeah.
you that
Yeah, yeah.
handled it.
And
Yeah.
it was like lightning or electric or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. I don't know. Random.
Well, from
Leland-
there you
Leland.
went on to you mounted
Island.
your Pegasus and got up into the clouds. Shakara had a little heart to heart with hers and was able to get on with a little prayer from Mia.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you made it to the top of the dome to inspect these vines, seeing that some damage could do something to them, at least slow their growth
Right.
for a time at least. But
Yeah, I
ultimately,
think-
Yeah.
you decided the source would be the best plan of
Right.
attack.
Yeah, I think we kind of discovered that, if I'm remembering correctly, the cold damage seemed to be perhaps the most effective, but still, like, it only just
Yeah.
Seconds.
temporized things for a bit, and it's not like we're about to be able to knock all these vines back from on top of the dome.
Does Thor have
Yeah.
a brother that's the god of ice?
Maybe like a second cousin.
Hmm.
Freya.
What's
Twice removed.
Although Freya's
Heat
not the
Miser
goddess
and what's
of
the
ice.
other guy? John?
I think it's Stoneweiser, right? Heat Miser.
Stonemeyer?
No.
Oh,
Hell, don't even.
It's a bad topic right now.
Bad
What
topic.
was the other guy's name?
Well, maybe you can
think
think
it
of
might
it by
be
the time you
Snow
finish
Michael.
up, and we can move on.
Okay, this is where we know we need to start wrapping it up.
Is there anything else happen, or are we going to questions?
Apparently,
Game-
Game Freak Girls thinks it's Loki.
Loki equals ice giant.
Well,
Interesting.
not.
No, the claymation
Not
cartoon
in,
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
So I
Reindeer.
can't just like pray to
thing.
Loki. Dang it.
You
when
can't
this-
just pray to Loki.
in the six-
Hey, yo, Loki.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know me, but I know you're bro.
My name's Mia.
Maybe come help us out.
I'm kind of celestial. Let's go.
I'm kind
Kind
of
of
celestial.
There's a lot. I don't know what we're gonna do when we play tomorrow. Oh my gosh, there's so much
Well,
to think about.
Shaft has turned into Erica, and Mia has turned into Sardo, or vice versa, whatever the fuck, which one
That's
it was.
Yeah.
Shaft turned
Yeah,
into
whatever.
Erica.
Erica. Yeah, whatever.
So I'm Sardo.
And I believe
Yeah.
you're Sardo, yeah.
Sardos.
Sardo.
the
Sardo.
second
He's
one.
he's very athletic and handsome. It's okay.
Boy, I hope you can say his. If you have to say his name, you better say it right.
We'll say Sardo. It's
Might be a
fine.
tell.
Mia is educated enough to know that the S is silent. Bryn was not. Oh man.
Okay, so we do have some questions if,
Oh,
if
good,
you're ready
okay.
for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, hold on. I wanted to contemplate on a couple of names from some
Yeah,
random
for like
ass
an hour.
cartoon that I can't quite remember right now. So give
I'm
me
doing
about
a
10
quick
minutes,
puppy check.
and I'll
Okay.
search through my
Yeah.
mental
Go ahead.
Rolodex.
Good.
And
Yeah.
we'll see if I can get
Go
them.
ahead. Yeah. You give us any clues on what those names might be?
No, because I didn't give the rest of you any context whatsoever when I just launched into my own thoughts process of trying to think of it. So.
I did.
Oh, this is
Shut
great.
up for a second, you would have heard it.
We best move on to the questions.
John
What's
knew
our first
exactly what I'm
question,
talking
Emily?
about anyway. Okay, so Mike says, I love how the party defeats Erica, Chucky, and Sardo and then promptly forgets about the doppelgangers. Where did they go? What are they up to? What devious plans do they have posing as the party? It'll be interesting to see what Leland has planned. Any hints, Leland?
Mayhem and destruction.
That's not helpful.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Because at this point, they can't get into the city of Heraklion. And there's no one but enemies outside of the city of Heraklion. So what are they going to do if, like, there's nothing they can do on the island of Heraklion posing as us? They could leave the island of Heraklion and go to the mainland posing as us, and they might be able to do something there.
My only
But-
thought is they could go up to the dome at the door and like try and get somebody's attention and say, let us in, and
But-
try and get them to let the
but-
dome down.
But we have the
Little
ring.
pig, let me
Let
come
me
in.
in. But they
Yeah,
could try and tell them to let the dome down to let us in or whatever.
Oh, okay. I would hope that no one inside of Heraklion would be foolish enough to do that. With vines creeping over top of it,
True,
like
yeah.
a massive army out. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brit
Hope
says
it's not
go
a
to the
city-
Tritons.
Hope it's not a city full of falsies.
You know, I'm sort of upset with the Tritons. They don't seem to be really all that valuable.
Well, we don't know what they're doing.
You only talked to him.
exactly. We don't know what they're doing. They
I
just
forgot about the Tritons.
he didn't even seem all that excited when he was talking to Falzern about it. Like, I'm gonna go back in the
I mean,
water.
they could be a bunch of bills. They just don't show
They're
their emotions.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
right.
Tritons don't really understand like surface emotions and that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of part of their race. But
yes, they're not
he
emotional.
did seem kind of indifferent, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info. I got lunch to do.
yeah. It's about break time, so I'll file this as soon as I get back.
Be sure to flip the rock back over on your way out.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right?
I'm not sure about the doppelgangers, to be honest.
Yeah, strange. It kind of makes you ponder just how many plans did Erica have? Is the doppelganger failsafe? Was it part of the plan all along? Were the summoning pools part of the plan all along? I mean, are we going through plan A, B, C, D, E, and F here, or what's going on?
She definitely had the
Tell us.
doppelgangers planned all along because that was just as soon as they got our images, they were out of there. And, they didn't stay and fight.
You think she had the doppelganger tactic planned from the second the invasion landed on the island?
No, I don't think she did.
Well, they were in round 2, right?
She didn't know how much of a pain in her butt we were going to be.
And before Terry's info, she had no idea who Shakara and Mia were.
That's true.
Terry.
Goddamn Terry. Never.
I mean, I would assume Plan A
Terry's the
is
worst.
I would assume Plan A was destroying the bubble from the inside with the deep scions and that kind of stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, like
That
let's
failed.
work on these summoning pools now because they take a long time and it's a backup. That's
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, who's left that a false shaft would be able to go and get anything done with? Right?
know.
The only person would be what's his name? Tennerman. He's the only one that even has any influence there, or Shaft has any, or any of us. All the damn elders are dead.
True.
Yeah, man.
And everybody else, I mean, other than maybe getting lucky with the librarian, I don't see any advantage that they're going to have.
But it's also, that's the question of what knowledge does Erica possibly have in which she could give to the doppelgangers? I mean, when they copy you, they can kind of read your surface thoughts, but when they're away from you, they're kind of operating on their own, right? Yeah. That's why often when doppelgangers assume a form, they don't kill their target. They keep them alive to be constantly probing their mind for details about whoever they're making a copy of. So it also kind of relies on information that Erica was able to gain and give to them, right? Like Erica doesn't know anything about the librarian. So what does Erica know? What could Erica possibly know about some of your activities at this point?
Nothing, I would assume. I think we're safe to go with nothing.
Right, absolutely nothing. So she's kind of wasting her time.
Oh, Britt says from the book. She had the book, so she was reading
Oh no!
every conversation we had.
Oh, no.
Wow, we're so
Heraklion.
dumb. Thanks
Oh boy!
These
Thank
live
goodness.
Twitch
Thank
after
goodness some of our
parties are
listeners are smarties out
So, so Erica knows literally everything. Literally
Erica
everything.
knows literally
Every
everything.
verbal conversation
Everything
you
inside
had
the
within
city.
the city.
Thank goodness she's dead.
Also, she's dead.
Oh,
I killed
crap. She knows a shit ton about
killed her
Shakara.
dead.
Well, a lot
no.
of it came out on the boat on the Rising 3, which was at the dock.
I talked to Isabella and told her.
In the keep.
Well, I didn't tell her that much. I didn't tell her that much.
You were
And
kind
what's
of
her name?
cryptic.
Geneva too, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
did
but
have
I mean, with both of them,
you were very cryptic, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All
Well,
you guys with
I
loose
mean-
lips.
Mia has nothing hidden.
They're sinking
like,
Rising
Mia,
3 ships.
Yeah, that's right. Rising 3. They're already at 3.
We're at ship 3. Mia has nothing to hide, really, other than like, I don't even think you guys have told her anything
Well,
that she needs to hide.
Mia's a Brightwood. Maybe they're on
Yeah,
the way
and
to Barrack.
I did read some of that book without telling the party. I guess that's maybe the only thing.
Did you read out loud when you were reading
Please,
it?
please don't read
No.
out loud.
I don't think I did. I don't
Did
think
you
Well-
I did.
Noob?
Shakara
But it-
read aloud what was in Alamar's journal.
Oh, goodness.
Right.
Yeah.
We're so screwed.
I mean, because her being the only one able to decipher it at the time, she read quite a bit aloud as well.
Yeah.
So when we're talking days before, you were like, behind your little DM
Just like that, yes.
It's all going in the book, folks.
Because
It's all
everything
going in the
we-
book.
Keep
Everything we
reading
say
out
is
loud,
Because it's a
Shakara.
podcast and we have to say it out loud. We
Say
can't
it out
do
loud.
Ah, that's not fair.
That's not- I mean, Erica's just been listening to 100 episodes to catch up.
Britt says
Basically.
the doppelgangers could meet up with Alamar.
But I think that would be to their disadvantage.
Good for
because
them.
Oh, you
Alamar's
think
kinda pissed
Alamar
off
would?
at us.
Yeah, Alamar would totally kill them. Fingers crossed. Then.
Problem solved.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I really can't think of what, I don't know, other than fooling Dreg, but Dreg is with us right now. So.
I think I'm going to try to talk my
Yeah.
doppelganger into working for me because I could definitely use another me.
Oh yeah, you can imagine
Oh
having
my
two
gosh, shaft
shafts.
squared.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Could you imagine having two?
All right, next
Wait,
question.
who are we talking about?
Because this is, I already know by looking at the screen what the hell is going on next. So,
Elena, that's a really good point, though. Could you imagine if Drag wasn't with you? Like, what if Drag had stayed back at the docks? Like, if you'd
Drag
left him in the bottom of the creepy aura when you were... Thank God he came with you. You would have died in that fight if Drag didn't come with you.
Yeah, very much so.
At this point, we know if we separate from him, he could be duped.
Yeah,
And he knows a lot.
that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Absolutely.
So he's
Do you think
forever...
though he saw though, like he saw the morph. So like every time if he loses sight of any of you,
he could ask us,
there
a
might be
series
some
of
paranoia.
winks.
I mean, in fact, if any of you split up, you should be thinking about that.
I did think about that, and I was going to bring that up tomorrow. Is everybody needs, and I didn't want to tell Leland. I wanted to say off the side, but since we brought it up, if we were to somehow cut ourselves up on our arm,
a new,
and then anytime we see each other, you go, "It's me."
That makes sense. That makes
That's what I was.
That's a very
Can we use a marker instead of cutting ourselves?
No.
Can I put the scar
this
on
coming
my
from
face?
the Dragonborn who burns herself.
Can I tattoo some
that was coming from
teardrops on
Emily.
my face?
I wouldn't do anything visible because then they'll be able to change if they see us.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So you need to have something.
Just a safe word. Just memorize a word.
But I really want an Erica teardrop.
Well, you can do that.
You're not safe with the word though.
How?
Why?
Because all they have to do is find you and get in range of you, stalk you, and probe your surface thoughts or your mind, or catch you, or
we need to
incapacitate you
brainwash
somehow.
ourselves and make it not a surface thought. Bury it deep down.
I think we only have surface thoughts.
Okay, so
all
we're
we
gonna
have.
create some friendship bracelets, and only the 4 of us will have those friendship bracelets. We
There you
cannot
go.
duplicate that.
We got time for that. No problem.
Wait,
Or
doesn't
anklets or toe
Drake
rings.
get one?
5
Drag-
friendship bracelets.
Well, Drag doesn't need one. He doesn't have a doppelganger.
Yeah,
he's
does
a
he have a
friend.
Yeah, but I
doppelganger?
mean, the doppelgangers they don't got to stay in your form.
Oh.
That's true.
All right, I'm gonna make friendship bracelets. Mia took
Yeah.
a class in it one time. She knows.
Oh, the macrame.
Yeah.
The macrame of
Okay.
Thor.
Dean has several things that he's said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
hold on, that's not important.
I like the doppelganger shaft can be a vessel.
I like that from Britt. Yeah, that's good question.
I wouldn't think so, because I would think it would be whatever's inside
Yeah.
Shaft that's making
The doppelganger doesn't have Shaft's secret sauce.
his essence.
Yeah.
essence of Shaft.
He said, Dean says it's the title of episode 97, referencing Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. I feel like I recall someone singing the lyrics in episode 96,
Yeah, we
Thunderbolts
did,
and
yeah.
Lightning, very, very frightening me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that.
Mia
Yeah, we're good
Bright
with
That
that.
was the inspiration. Otherwise, that title has nothing to do with what happened in that episode.
He also says, I was listening to 96 or 97 when Mia asked to speak to her benefactor. Her request seemed unusual, yet Leland seemed completely prepared for it. Kudos. He was wondering how you were going to respond as she was talking.
Leland's good at the fly.
He is.
Yeah. Again, I did mention I responded to him in Discord, but it was, again, it's like the power of editing. I did take like a minute or so to think about what I wanted to say. I did get to pause for a second, which of course cuts out of the episode. So I do sound a lot better than at the table.
You're
But
still
like
good
also,
at that, though.
well, thank you. But also, it's like we've always said, there's always something happening in the world, regardless of where the party is. Right? There's stuff is happening on the mainland. Like things with the towers specifically are always turning, and that helps a lot with being able to and very specifically, I suppose, a vision. Like I could have showed her anything, but like I already know what this course of action that these cultists
Right.
have. Like I know what Plan A, B, C, and D, and E, and F are.
Victor's
there's an
practicing
Evelyn
social
thing.
distancing now.
He's admitting to
Oh,
having
no.
a plan F. This is
There's a
not
couple
good.
bars that have been shut down, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
That helps. It helps when I have that foundation that I've been able to make, and that we've all been crafting, right? So it definitely helps with being able to draw.
It's still amazing to me, and I think the listeners like him as well, to just know that you already have thought of the story steps ahead. You know what type of information you would like us to work upon. You just have to, and because we're unpredictable in people, you find ways to interject that into the story. And that's one opportunity for you. We're like, oh, I can talk to them about the vines with this, right?
Right.
I wanted to mention it somehow.
Well, if you recall, Thunder McScruggins, Matthew Jude, had information about the Infinity Vines that I supplied him with as part of the prep for his character in case it happened to come up. So yes, you requesting that vision like actually really played into what I already had prepped too. So
Right.
again, that I had the foundation to make myself look good, right? Like the work was already there. The work was done, is what I'm saying, right? We already did the work, so it was super easy to take advantage of it.
And he also says, I have a question for your next AP. Someone mentioned leveling up in the first AP, and it struck me that a long time ago, you told us when you leveled up and all the neat things each of you got when doing so. As a first-time player, I found that really interesting. So why did you stop? I think it was because we decided to focus more on the story with Chapter 2 and not the mechanics as much.
That's right, yeah.
That was kind of a conscious decision. We decided to transition away from teaching as the podcast on air on the podcast and more on making it a bit more of an immersive storytelling podcast sort of
yeah
thing.
We shifted the spotlight to the narrative, right?
It brings up those neat moments where suddenly there's a Liamon's tiny hut
Right.
that wasn't
Right.
there.
Yeah.
that we've
Or
never used
Shakara can
before.
see in the dark or can read.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Which that
Read
plays into the
everything.
story, and then yeah, it's a little bit less of a like roll the dice, add the numbers, calculate it out all on mic. It's like if we do that, Leland cuts it so it's just like 16, 15. If we do that, Leland just cuts it out so it's like 16, 15, just saying our numbers. So you know what we're referencing, but you're not listening to us add up all the dice and ask our questions.
Yeah, it
The
goes with
modifiers and
that. Yeah, it's all about maintaining this new flow for the show that we decided upon with Chapter 2, and I think we'll continue with Chapter 3. Honestly, I think we can be bringing Chapter 2 to a close pretty quick here. And maybe have a Chapter 2 recap as we're getting pretty long in the tooth.
Even
as
in
far
after
as
parties,
episodes.
he's saying even in after parties we haven't talked about it. I mean, we can talk about it next after party. Let's talk about what we take at level 9 because
absolutely.
we just leveled up to level 9.
Yeah, we did just level up.
I mean, I'm still trying to decide if I want to take a level of rogue or if I want to keep on going with ranger and
or warlock.
Well, I wasn't going to say warlock. I was going to tell you the other cat's out of the bag if I do that.
Honestly, I feel like we're only seeing one of the paws of the cat out of the bag because who's your patron? Where did it come from? When did this happen? I have so many questions. If Shaft has taken a level of warlock,
how come I'm the only one that's not a warlock? I feel left out.
I really think you don't need to be a warlock.
I'm just kidding. It wouldn't make sense with my character.
Yeah.
But
honestly, at some of the higher levels, like depending on the class, a lot of it's just like getting better spells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As far
so Dean,
as,
like I
actual
think
abilities.
level 9, it's like okay, you get one more 4th level spell slot or like whatever you get. I'm making that up, but it's not. Some of them aren't huge milestones.
No, I think the biggest change actually was with Shakara going to 3 and then or going to 2 and now going to 3 because I am taking another level of warlock. I am getting differences.
Yeah,
that's true.
And not just more spell slots.
When it comes to multi-classing, once you start getting to
that's where the biggest changes are from like 2 to 5.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just little things.
Big stuff happens in those.
Can a cleric sneak attack and channel that?
If your sneak attack was with a weapon that did lightning damage, you could channel the lightning damage portion. Or thunder.
Clerics can't sneak attacks. You would have to.
Well, no, I'm
multi-class.
talking about multi-classing. Yeah.
Right. You would obviously have to meet all the benefits. Your weapon would have to be either finesse or a ranged weapon, et cetera, et cetera. Like theoretically, the weapon would also need to deal thunder damage. Because remember, you can't sneak attack with spells.
Oh. Right.
And your level 1 sneak attack is a D6, which in
that's not
Shaft's
okay,
instance,
fine.
piling it on top of all the other dice he's rolling.
Right.
Yeah.
over 3 attacks. I guess you only sneak attack once per turn, actually.
Right. But with Hunter's Mark and Colossus Slayer,
Yeah.
and he could really do spike it up. And he's more of a thief
Spike it up.
anyway than he is a ranger
totally.
to be
Yeah.
from a
I
character.
mean, he already knows
perspective.
thieves can't.
Yeah.
But well, honestly though, the cool thing about even though the sneak attack damage is low, like because of your multiple attacks, you just have more instances to deal the sneak attack damage, right? Whereas that's part of the balancing with the rogue at higher levels. Their sneak attack goes up to like 6 plus d6 on a sneak attack, right, or whatever. But they only ever get a single attack.
Yeah.
Which is why if you dual wield like maybe 2 rapiers, like in Shaft's instance, or a rapier and a cutlass, it's always beneficial for the rogue because they have twice the chance to deal that huge sneak attack damage. Again, assuming they meet the requirements of getting to potentially deal sneak attack damage.
That makes more sense.
Whether they have advantage or whatever, or allies. If
I just had a moment of weakness where I missed Bryn, okay?
Yeah, well. There's many fallen characters that we all miss.
Yeah. I think the other thing too.
God drags alive.
The other thing to Dean's comment about leveling up and that sort of thing. I mean, for Falsey has given up on Warlock. Like he's taken 1 level of Warlock, and I can't foresee a situation where he's going to take any more.
You sure?
Yeah.
That Scabulet's not.
Maybe Dendar will take you on as an apprentice.
Ah.
But
you
yeah,
could
like
be
when
Shikara's apprentice.
That is an evil laugh. That is very evil. That is Emily evil laugh.
But yeah, as a wizard leveling up, like I'm basically just choosing what new spell to take, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's nothing all that exciting really to talk about on mic. Like the last couple levels I took, Dispel Magic was the most recent one I've taken that we've seen happen in game, and then before that I think was Blink.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if we wanted to stay with the whole teaching theme, which we've kind of graduated from, there's not a whole lot going on in Falsey's court.
I hope you're taking 2 spells a level like you're supposed to.
Yes.
2?
What? How many?
I think I took Blink and Dispel Magic last time around, or something like that.
I mean, Dispel Magic came in handy. That Phantasmal Killer could have phantasmally killed the Shaft real good.
That's right.
For sure.
I mean, 40-10 psychic damage is no joke.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's about the damage those Catoblepus were dealing with their tails.
Yeah, that's painful.
Man,
David
I like
Dave
those things.
says, how could... Oh, he wants you to address how sucky revenants are in 5th, and why would you introduce something that is basically impossible to kill to the campaign?
It's not impossible. You could do it. Just got to figure out how.
Britt Googled it for us.
Yeah. Put them in a bag of
We're all good
devouring,
now.
tie them up, chain them up, and drop them in the middle of the ocean.
Did we
All good
grab that
ideas,
bag
Britt.
of devouring at Tenchi's, or did we leave it?
No,
we
we
left
didn't.
it, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should have.
In fact,
It
I
wasn't
don't
there when we
believe-
went back.
Yeah, it wasn't there when you visited the ruin of it, of the
Yeah.
Greek
Bill Ben has a couple comments. He says Leland is making him nervous because he keeps screaming in the past few episodes. He says Mia's laugh at the end of 99 was ringtone worthy.
Oh man, Alina cackled every time
Oh, she
Erica and Sardo died. Like,
And then he says there's nothing wrong with figuring out the exact attack points and kills. The stat guy approves.
So, if there's no more questions, I'll get into that. Is there any more?
There's a little bit more, but I mean, go ahead.
So, I guess big shout out to Bill Ben. I mean, we mentioned, I think it was on one of the after parties. I think I said it would be neat to be able to go back and see what the stats are, of all our kills from the very beginning. And he volunteered to do that, which means he's sort of out of his mind, really. But he did go back and he has listened to the last 100 episodes and
that's
marked
epic.
down.
Epic,
Wow.
Bill Ben, you are epic.
And not only did he put it in for each session and what it is that we were killed, what killed us or what hit us, and I mean it's pretty in depth. I'm going to when I get
didn't
some
realize
time
he was
here.
done.
He's going to keep on doing it, he says, and
That's crazy.
he's also going to do the one shots too. So it's
awesome.
Oh,
That's so awesome.
Oh
I love
no.
it.
So I'm going to take what his data and I'll put it into some some charts and graphs and throw them up on the website so we can sort of see as it goes along. But just I mean I don't want to just run through everything, but I thought there was
couple
some
highlights?
interesting. Yeah, like well we'll go back and look at Bryn. Like he's given the damage given and the damage taken. She was at 695 given and 160 taken.
Wow.
And if you think about 160, that's not that much, really.
That's
No,
nothing.
It was enough.
And she only went to level 6 or something.
Well, about
That was mean,
0.4% of that was from
Uncalled
Shakara,
for.
and that's all that took.
Yeah.
That's all was needed.
A hundredth of a thousandth of a percentage, and boom, she's dead.
Now,
Chat.
the data that I have is not of the last 3 episodes, but Mia has only taken 141 damage, but dealt out 924.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I love it.
Oh
Now,
my
second
goodness.
is Shaft. He has got 1,663 given,
Hey.
180 taken. Now,
Whoa.
that's for Shafts from all 100 episodes, right? So,
Sure.
If you
if you-
combine Mia with Bryn, then that's like
That's right. So you're
Wow.
you're about the same then. 924 plus 695, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
We can
15.
probably skip over Falzarin's stats.
Yeah.
We'll cover it
But,
later.
but we're gonna go ahead and do that because I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
He has 1,517 given and
That's pretty good.
219 taken.
What?
219.
Now that
1,500
like
given.
Is that ogre he was
1,500
waiting
given?
to?
that's right. So that's fireball. You
Yeah,
add those
area of
up,
effect. Like that's the thing, right? Like if you're hitting
Yeah.
multiple enemies per spell, that
Yeah, I mean,
that adds
your
up.
fireballs typically only do 10 to 20
Dude.
damage. You still hit 3 people. That's like
That's right.
30 to 60
More damage than Shaft.
That's true.
And just
That's
as
why
much
fireball's
as
so
Mia Bryn.
good. It's just you gotta roll the dice.
Wow. You got to
The
roll
right
the right
number
number,
of
of dice. Yeah.
The right number of right
Jinx.
dice.
Jinx.
Well, it's so good,
Uh,
even Dreg learned it.
That's right.
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
One drunken night in
Sort
a
of.
tavern.
Sort of
Too many
dragon.
377s. Yeah, sort of.
So Gozer, he being the first main character to die, still had 724 given
Wow.
and 250 taken.
250.
Wow.
What a tank.
That's impressive.
Gozer
Yeah.
took a lot of
She
damage.
was a meat shield, man.
Gozer
But-
was a tank.
The
Yeah.
irony is Shakara is right there with her right now. 715 given, 201 taken. So they're almost exactly.
Yeah. Scar's pretty beastly
Wow.
too,
So-
man.
Go,
So
at
Shakara's
this point,
dealt the most damage. Or Emily, sorry.
has Shakara
Yeah.
been alive for more sessions than Gozer was? I don't recall in what episode Gozer died. 40 something,
it was-
50 something.
It was right about.
It was-
I think we're right about in the middle.
It was
yeah.
right before the end of chapter 1.
Yeah.
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 So I
in
think
the
it was
cave,
around
right?
50 or so.
Wait,
So,
didn't Bryn
they-
die? At
Bryn
Bryn
died
died
the first chapter 2.
episode of chapter 2.
chapter 2.
Which I
But
think was
Gozer died before that.
53
Gozer
or
died
So I
before
think-
that, but I thought it
yeah.
was more than just right before.
Well, it's
Uh,
probably 5 episodes prior because we came out
All
with
the
the
crabby
crabs.
stealing,
We
yeah.
went to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a beer.
Oh, it was episode 50 because
Okay.
Rugar was 52. Stephen Bonacoron was 52. So it was 50
Okay.
or 51. So, like, yeah, we're like right
in the
on
middle.
the
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
right in the middle.
So,
So-
with the amount of crits
Damn.
that John rolls, though, I can't believe that Shaft has dealt the least amount of damage.
That boggles my mind.
Shaft has given the most amount of damage overall, 1,663.
No, because
1600.
Gozer. Well, but Gozer plus Shakara or Mia plus Bryn.
So Shakara and Gozer would be 1,430,
Oh, it's lower.
and that would be
Yeah,
Shakara
I
and
don't
Gozer
deal
together.
out as much. I mean, you guys can do well.
I mean,
maybe
I'll
sometimes
put-
not
I'll
Falsey.
put it all
Sorry.
up
I
there.
guess the math
Me
is
and
wrong.
Shaft can
Anyway,
do a lot more damage than either
Hey,
Gozer or
Falsey's
Shakara could.
1,500.
I can't
My-
believe
my
he's
role is
taken
to take
200
the
plus hit
damage.
points.
I think
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
see it all graphed out, you're going to see we're all real damn close to each
That's
other.
nuts.
Yeah.
It's very
And
surprising.
given and
That's
taken.
cool.
Very surprising.
That is
Honestly,
cool,
I think Emily's characters not only have they dealt a lot of damage, but they have absorbed a lot of
Instinctive,
damage. Whereas
I
like
think
Mia's
Falsey
catching
ain't
up,
helping
though.
you out in that department at all. He might be
No.
able to deal some damage, but
Well, that's why I'm there to take the damage for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
The
not as
tank.
melee as you, Shikara, but I mean that last battle I took a lot too. Like I'm getting there the more and more combat Mia faces.
I mean,
right?
honestly, you shouldn't. I mean, none of you should be taking as much damage as I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
should be
right.
taking the brunt of the damage.
Yeah.
If I'm doing my
Yeah.
job right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
again, if someone's gonna take 2 attacks of opportunity, Mia can maybe let that slide, and that's what happened in the last fight.
Right.
It's like,
Well,
is it worth it?
to not to interject completely and go off tangent, but that was actually one thing that I fucking loved in I think it was 99, where you all had a chance to go around and describe how your characters were looking.
Right.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was such a cool part. I loved that. I loved hearing you guys get a chance to do that. That was super cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
remember to do that more. I mean, just as we talk about that every once in a while,
Right.
describe what you're doing when you attack and describe how you're feeling and looking. It just paints that picture, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But I
I
thought,
do a fantastic job with the monsters doing that, but yeah, you as players,
Yeah, we all suck
probably-
at it. So anyway, the next thing I thought was real interesting is he did all the NPCs and guest NPCs. So Thuft,
Oh right.
38 given, 35 taken.
Aw.
Right
Poor
there.
guy.
Thuff giveth and Thuff taketh.
And then I thought this was very telling. Brindle, 10 given,
Oh my gosh, 10 given. What?
0 taken.
What?
Barry, 9 given, 31 taken. Grimby,
9?
Barry was so useless.
Yeah.
So useless.
I still think Barry was just a victim of circumstance because I think he could have really cleaned up. So Grimby, 73 given. He's a beast for the
Nice.
few episodes that Grimby's actually in.
Yeah.
That's a good hunk of damage.
There was one episode when the Rising 2 blew up. He was missing half the time.
Oh my gosh.
Could have been way more.
24 taken. So he doesn't get hit very often.
No.
And our new favorite character, Dreg, 56 given, 36 taken. Now, this doesn't include those last
Right.
episodes.
Doesn't include the
Right.
64 he took from the death ray
That's
and
right.
the 20-something from Tharsardo's lightning bolt.
And Dreg's more of a support caster too.
Yeah, he's an abjurer. Like, I was actually
Yeah,
surprised
yeah.
to see on his list that he actually had Fireball.
That's awesome,
yeah.
though.
And we only have 3 things left of our guest NPCs, which very rarely see combat. But there are 3 times. Wolfgang, Patrick, our first guest,
Mhm.
did 5 damage and took 0. So
Yeah, that's a good ratio.
yeah, that's really good. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't die on the elevator, but y'all could have died there. Statdorf, Marty and Tony
Oh,
gave
nice.
30 damage
Nice.
and only took 8, so
That's good.
not too bad.
Yep.
And Thunder McScruggins has to be the winner here, dealing 48 damage, taking 0.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh,
0.
Thunder.
He took 0, eh?
So yeah, I mean,
Nice.
this is all based on Bill Ben's listening to 100 episodes. There might be
Yeah.
some data shift here and there where he missed something, but for the most part,
Don't you talk bad
Amazing.
about Bill Ben.
I was just going to say he did an amazing job.
He did do Thank you so much, Bill. That's Bill Ben. That's amazing. Because your name's actually
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
There's no Bill in
Yes.
his name.
No.
It's because his last name's Nye, so Bill
Yeah.
Nye.
Bill
Ben
Nye.
Nye.
Bill Ben
Yeah.
Nye.
Well, I
His
mean,
address is and his bank account number.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well,
he's-
that's
he's-
actually his name on Twitch, so I'm not saying
I'm
anything.
just giving you shit.
Okay. All right.
he's
Well,
Brian's friend, and Brian would talk to us about his friend Bill, and then other times he would talk to us about his friend Ben. And he interchanged his name, and then finally I was like,
Yeah.
"Is there
Who is
two
that?
different guys
Yes.
here that you're talking
Not
about,
like-
or is it the same man?"
We do shit like David Dave and everything else under the
Right.
sun. So
Yes.
Normal
Very
Dave, I believe,
rarely.
is who
Normal
you're
Dave.
referring to.
okay. Get out. of here.
I was gonna say, so obviously for Brendel, that was basically the stats for when he was friendly, because like he took damage to die in
Right.
this very short. But that 10 damage that he dealt was to Bryn. I remember he critically
Yes.
failed in Erica's lair and firebolted
Yes.
Bryn for max damage.
I was so mad.
a lot of people make mistakes and hit Brent.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
trying
boy.
to go in and
Magnet.
save
Oh,
Falzarin
boy.
from the mouth of the mama. It's like, saving Falzarin's butt. Can you imagine if Falzarin would have died, how different this podcast would be right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would have had to make another wizard.
Another wizard from
Okay.
Heraklion. What are
Okay.
the odds?
Could have played a Triton.
Oh man. So we're hitting 2 hours here. So we got anything else?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
yes, shut up. We have a question from Emma.
Whoa.
Oh, that was shut up for John only.
Okay.
How does it feel 100 episodes? What is the thing you're most proud of?
I'll
This
go
is
first.
one of the most challenging questions we've ever had, I think.
I think it's our seamless sign-offs.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
You know, at first they were a little rough, but today, after 100 episodes, we have honed in on the sign-off. It is flawless. So that's what I'm most proud of.
They've improved so much over time. It's really
Oh man.
it's hard to believe, really.
Does
How's
anybody
it
have an
feel to have
actual
100?
answer?
Oh, that was.
That was John's actual answer.
Yeah, that's my actual answer. I'll think about it.
I am proud of how more comfortable I feel putting myself out there. I have always been a shy person, and these last few years, John has been pushing me to be more out there, and all of this has been pushing me to be more out there and be more comfortable hearing
Oh,
myself.
you're out there.
I was literally thinking
Yeah.
the same thing. You know how many streams feature Emily's cleavage? You're out there, girl.
Oh,
Right
my
there.
goodness.
I was not referencing that. I was not
Oh, you
referencing
weren't?
that. No, I was being like, you know how when you tell someone they're kind of out there, like they're weird.
Oh, you're a cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yeah.
Well, we've
I was talking about
Whether
boobs.
you're an
we've managed to
exhibitionist
cover
or
a couple
insane.
different inappropriate comments.
It was a joke because we're all more comfortable with each other too.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
Jeez.
very much so.
Bill, what was your answer?
That touches on I think probably
I'm proud of Emily's boobs, too.
Yeah. Earl, I think we can all wrap it up with that one.
All right, time to sign off.
No, I think looking back, like when we first started, it's been I think John said
Tom's comment in the chat.
Tom
oh
was
my
pretty good in the
goodness.
He says, if you can just wait a second, I'll head off and start listening, and then you can carry on. But I understand boobs.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure where Tom is in the back catalog, but he can at
This
least
is all
relate
gibberish.
to boobs, even though he doesn't understand most of the rest of what we talked about tonight. Um,
Oh man.
No, when we first started-
how we knew Gozer was a woman.
Yes.
That's true.
That's how you know
Gozer
anyone's
was
a
more
woman.
That was where it all
Boobs.
started. I mean, breasts are a foundation of the IP.
Boobs, duh.
Yes.
That's exactly
Sorry,
what I
Bill.
said. Okay, go ahead, Bill.
We started recording this before we started broadcasting it, and I think we had figured out that was a year and a half ago.
Mhm. That's
Um,
usually the way recordings work. Yep.
Right. Yeah, so like we had been interacting
Sorry.
online for a while before then. It's okay, we'll get there.
Bill has
Wow,
patience.
if that didn't feel like a pat on the head, I don't know what will.
He's married to me, all right? He's used to being interrupted all the time.
Yes.
He's very
Eventually
good
you
at
just
going
start
with the
yelling
flow.
in order to have yourself heard. But anyway, when we first started, like we weren't strangers to each other, but like we were internet friends at best, you know what I mean? Like we weren't super close. We had very little, maybe no interaction on camera with each other before we started the podcast, right?
Right.
Well, like
Yeah.
we did that failed podcast for a little bit.
Right. But that wasn't even on camera.
Yeah, no,
Was
we
it?
were on camera. Yeah,
I
we
think
Skyped
we
or whatever.
Yes,
that's where we first talked, but we didn't do anything with it. That's where we just
Right.
got to know each other and then
We
decided
did-
to do this. Right?
We recorded one episode of what we thought was going to be a podcast that never happened. But anyway, the point I'm making is that we weren't like super close friends when this started, and a lot of podcasts don't last that long. And in the year and a half that we've done this, we've become, I think I can speak for everyone, that we're quite close friends, really enjoy this hanging out outside of the podcast and during the podcast. And we're still going strong a year and a half later, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yes, I
It's,
agree.
it's tough to
Yes.
make friends as an adult. and this podcast has really brought us all together, as well as connected us to a bunch of people who
Bill,
really enjoyed the adventure.
You're taking my answer. Remember what my answer was? When goodness.
Moving right along to Elena's answer.
I'm really proud of the community that I don't think we've created, that's been created around this adventure, I guess.
Yeah.
And around our personalities and our characters, right? Like, we did nothing but put a podcast out there, and some random people who are now friends and would, come over for dinner or something if we live closer, from Denmark, are like supporting us, listening to us, our Discord. Like, it's just,
Yeah, I love
insane.
our Discord.
We're all over the world. We have to have our stuff posted in 5 different time zones, and that's awesome. That's so cool. I can't even believe it.
It's very surreal. Yeah.
It's a very incorrigible community, and if you enjoy listening to our podcast, our Discord is a hot mess and really fun. So join our Discord.
Yeah, someone command that in the chat.
Discord. And just our little family. I feel like our family isn't just the 5 of us, basically. Like, all our friends and people in the chat right now. It's so great. I love it. Love you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you've all said. What I am most proud of, though, nothing that I personally have done, as I'm not quite as self-centered as the lot of you, but I am the most proud.
Because I mentioned nothing. Yeah, my face right there. I mentioned nothing about something I did.
I am the most proud of the Adios, and how when you listen
Get out of here.
to them right at the very beginning, basically they were the central focus of the inception of Chapter 1 being a listening podcast, and having never played an RPG before, having never recorded a podcast before, starting to try to do both at the exact same time, and how far the two of you have come in your role play, especially. Oh my god, neither of you know the fucking mechanics of your character still, but the role play, like, the 4 of you are just such great role players, and it just blows me away every single time that I get to play
I'm
with
blushing.
you. And I've always said at every chance that I had an opportunity to do so, that the 4 of you are this show, right? That you players, you make this show. And I am incredibly proud and honored to be able to play and produce such a quality podcast with the 4 of you. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you very much for continuing to romp around through the machinations and the inceptions that leak out of my ears sometimes and end up on a page. So thank you, all of you. And of course, all of the listeners, and yes, the community that we built. It's all very, very humbling, and it's pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh man,
Been
I
fun.
never would have guessed a year and a half ago that we'd be here today with so many lovely folks we've connected with, and that we don't totally hate each other.
not totally. I'm just kidding. But like, with that being said, Leland, you put an incredible amount of time and detail into creating this world for us.
Really amazing, I know, but
and editing everything. The music, the sound effects, the Erica screams, it all creates such a good listening experience.
The music,
a lot of work.
is such a big part of the show.
You're my only DM, and I feel like I'll always just be comparing DMs to you at this point, even when I'm listening to other podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Once you go Leland, you never go back.
Everybody remembers their first
You're real good at what you do.
experience
Man.
with Leland.
You're really good at what you do.
You know what's also really cool is that, like, I mean, they're, Britt and Dean both in the chat, getting to play their first RPG and being inspired by the show.
Super excited for them.
Hopefully, Chapter 1 actually taught them something as far as how to play.
A little something.
Yeah. Anytime I've told someone about the podcast, like, very few of my friends that I know outside of this sphere, like the folks who I've known for years in real life, very few of them have ever been exposed to RPGs or D&D. And so I've mentioned the podcast to a handful of folks, and that's always my hope, is that they listen to Elena and I learning amongst you folks who are teaching us and kind of taking us under your wings, that they would learn that D&D or RPGs are are fun and something they want to give a shot, because I was really, really nervous when we first, like, it took some convincing for you guys to even get me to agree to play D&D with
Bill,
you.
we've heard this. You can swim fast. You were really nervous. You held your breath for a long time.
Yes. So it's awesome to hear that people that have listened to our podcast have decided to take the plunge into playing an RPG. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's neat that we're board gamers, right? And that's how we did everything.
Yes.
We went to the conventions, we knew all and then the people that we played games with and stuff are now you're seeing them playing RPGs online. They're
Yes.
a lot more. You're seeing they're going to do a Twitch of playing D&D or something like that, which I think that's really cool. And I don't know how much of a part we had in that, but
Yeah.
it does feel like we were doing it.
Very
And
small.
and well, at least exposing it, I think, to some people going, hey, it's
listen,
cool. You can't do this wrong.
We are
We're gonna have
100
fun.
episodes ahead of the bandwagon. We are the hipsters of board games, recognizing that
Yeah.
RPGs are games, role-playing
Gary-
games.
Gary Gygax got the idea to create D&D from listening to our podcast.
Yes. We are the hipsters of...
Heard it here first, folks. Heard
It's
it here
almost too
first.
mainstream for us now. We might have to find something else.
You know what? At least when I have a hashtag Leland Facts, it sounds somewhat plausible. But when Bill drops it,
Have you seen him play Star Citizen?
Didn't Gygax pass away like before our podcast even launched?
Yes.
yeah, he's been
Yeah.
dead for a
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yes.
Oh, man.
We miss you, Gary.
We've got someone in the chat giving their Patreon perks to Leland to screw us over.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're not the
Not-
first.
That's not cool, Tom. Not
No,
cool.
I think
It's pretty-
everybody's
Man.
given their
It's
inspiration to
pretty
Leyland.
typical, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much
Why
everyone
didn't
has,
you
yes.
choose
Yeah.
to use inspiration during that battle? You know?
That's
You had
a
it.
good point. I do have quite a bit of it to spend.
All right, well.
Yeah, that's true. Dean,
You didn't,
I think, gave it
so
to
they
Shaft
did.
directly.
They
Yeah,
did.
so I mean
yeah.
that is
That's
a
right.
good point. I mean, we don't really. I mean, we never plug
Thank you,
our
Dean.
Patreon at all, honestly. But like, yeah, we do have a Patreon, and part of the lowest tier is you're able to give either the DM or the party inspiration to spend in play,
Yeah.
and that serves as. I mean, when we spend it, it kind of will serve as a bit of the your typical like lowest level like shout out kind of thing. We've yet to spend any of it though, and I will tell you, Shaft may need to spend some of that inspiration.
I probably should have did it the last
Yeah.
episode, honestly, but when I came pretty close to biting
You got
it.
your lucky, though, right? So that
True,
worked out for
true.
you.
I've got
Yeah.
lucky, and I took the feat of luck, so I have luck dice too.
Yes,
So
yes,
yes.
I can get away with rolling a 1. I'm not going to accidentally slaughter somebody with rolling a 1, so I'm doing pretty good. But I'll use it, Dean. Hang in there. It'll be useful.
We
and I
also
will use
have,
mine.
Oh, we got more stuff.
well, just one other thing. Mike Caldwell also commented about our first Paranoia episode launched on Patreon.
Yes, Patreon.
He said he can't wait to hear the one-shot story. He doesn't have experience with Paranoia, but the game mechanics sound fun. The party doesn't need much of a push to pit them against each other, so this should be very exciting.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
a
forgot that
clusterfuck.
Paranoia was.
it's a
I
mess.
forgot that Paranoia was on our Patreon. I'm
Patreon
Yes,
really
that
excited
is
about
that
it.
is one of the. We did meet that goal to release 4 mini campaigns a year
Yeah.
Yes.
for Patreon only for the Fireball tier and up. Unfortunately,
I think the Paranoia mini campaign
man.
so far is
it's
freaking
nuts.
hilarious.
so fucking
Oh,
fun
man.
so far.
If
Really
if
funny.
you think we're chaotic in this podcast, check out
Yeah.
go
Oh, that last play session I don't know what
Oh
the
my
fuck happened, but I
gosh.
cannot
Oh, man, I
wait
can't wait to hear that.
to edit that and hear it again.
It's
Oh man.
it's turned up to 15 on Paranoia. Just
Oh man,
so much backstabbing.
oh, so good, man.
Yeah, Paranoia
This
seems
is
like
fun.
a pretty fun system. It's cool. The
Yeah.
character creation was really fun.
I'm really enjoying it so far.
I'm just so happy right now. This is just really fun that we get to do this and like have fun and share it with other people. It's just great.
Yep.
Oh,
It's been a blast so
warm
far.
fuzzies.
It has. But every
Pegasus
good thing
fuzzies.
must come to an end.
I know.
That's right. I've been John and Shaft.
We're just, that's just,
Oh,
yeah,
you guys are making me
I've
so
been
proud
Emily.
right now.
Forget to plug the butt plugs.
You didn't really
about-
think it was
what
going to
about
work first time
what,
around.
Leland was doing something, maybe not. No, yes.
No, John picked up exactly what I was laying
He
down.
was laying
I was trying to
down,
get the
yeah.
fuck out of here.
No, I
I
have a
thought there
plea
was-
to the listeners.
Yeah.
Leland
Yeah.
has mentioned a couple times now that there is something from Shakara's vision, which was in section
Oh!
90,
Right.
that there's a detail about Erica in these latest episodes that could be picked up by the astute listener. I am not
What?
astute enough. I need help. Somebody
us.
help me with the figure
Hashtag
out what
help
the heck
us.
he's talking about.
I don't
Bill,
know
Ben,
what it
can
is.
you go back and listen to all the episodes and write down all the relevant stuff that we need to be aware of? And
He
just
says
put in
it
a
ties
spreadsheet
into
for me?
the detail I hinted at existing in Shakara's vision of Heraklion.
Dear goodness.
Yes. I
Okay,
mean,
there's got to. I know
I-
that like most of our listeners are smarter than us, so one of them needs to figure this out.
I could reveal it if you'd like.
Yes?
Why don't you listen to 90
I
again?
feel like that's not
I
much
have?
fun. Don't reveal it, Leland.
No.
Someone will figure it out.
out.
No, for multiple reasons. Number one,
No.
it's just not right. Number
Maybe
two,
s-
I like her suffering like that.
Yeah, maybe a listener can figure it out. Yes. So
The truth
there's.
comes out.
I mean,
Oh,
Erica's been
man.
described multiple times. I will say, yeah, in somewhere in the description between Shakara's vision of her killing Erica and the fight with Erica here, there is a discrepancy a minor discrepancy in some of the descriptions in both parts.
I haven't even gone back
And
and listened
all
to
good
the-
things must
I was
come
gonna
to an
say,
end.
I haven't
I've
even
been
listened to all
John
the
and
after credits.
Shaft. God damn.
Jesus, come on! let's
I've
get out of
been
here.
John and
He's shaking.
Shaft.
Who comes
I'm
after John?
Emily and Shakara.
Kumquat.
I'm done. I did it. What? I was thinking for a second.
Elena.
I thought it was you then me.
No.
Only 100 episodes, folks.
My
This
name
happens
is
every episode. It gets edited out so that you don't hear it this way, but this is it
No.
every time.
he does keep it in.
This is
My
it.
name's Elena. I play Mia. I played Bryn. And I played Pyra. Check out
I've-
my Patreon content to get my another new character. You know.
Tom says I'm in Tom and also just Tom.
I've been Bill and Falzarin.
And I'm Leland Steele. Happy adventuring.
Oh yeah, I'm Leo too. Leo, what's up? Peace.
Are we raiding anybody?
Oh yeah, we can raid.
Oh, yes, we could do
We
that.
could, yeah.
We could.
Do we have an ending Twitch ending scene we want to fire
I
up?
can move to it as soon as we're ready to raid, yeah.
Oh, there's someone to raid. Yep.
Okay, well, I'm moving to the end.
Hang around, folks.
We're gonna raid. Bye, everybody.
Gonna
Thanks
raid.
for joining the chat.
Are you doing it, Bill?
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I can do it.
Bye.
Ba, 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 ba.